I forgot to turn my camera on. Well, that's a lie. It is on. I just didn't adjust it. There we go. Alright, should be good now. The heck? Why does the back of my head look like I was asleep or something? I don't know. I feel like it's weird. Okay. We're gonna do... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Which one did I select? My priest. Just gonna put my classes back in the order that I had them in, which actually doesn't have any organization whatsoever. Okay, we'll just start off doing PvE things. Where does it say the seasonal character stuff? Does it actually say that anywhere? So this will be a little bit slow progress since I'm restarting. I always start from 0. I don't actually even know how the seasonal characters work because I haven't played this game in forever. And also, I think Assassins got reworked since I last played. So I don't know how to play this class, if it changed. I feel like it didn't change much. Although, I think the area of effect of the poisons is a lot smaller than I remember. Did they make it a little bit more skillful? You have to actually aim instead of just tossing the poisons, seems like. I also haven't used any of the new weapons that they made for the classes, so I don't really know how those work. For any of the classes, I've seen the bow shooting, that's about it. Actually, don't even care about killing this, I don't know why I am. I mean, how many people are actually in this? No, not a lot, so I wonder if this guy's actually asking Taken for an 03. That'd be funny. As long as I have 40 speed, I'll do it, if they actually have people come in here. I don't even remember where I am. I'm probably on West 4. No? Oh, EU. I'm not really paying attention to where I'm going. I didn't feel like going around this lake. I'm just trying to get a single spider den to spawn to quickly like get a couple of things that are better, but it doesn't want to do that. Not really getting anything helpful at all. Nobody that I recognize showed up in that list since they asked Taken. Nope, okay, I guess it's actually going to be an 03, that's fun. Alright, so, new strategy. Get a T3 HP ring as quick as we can. Don't care about anything else. If we have HP, then I can probably survive an 03. There's a miner. Well, that'd be nice if I could actually help possibly get a Pogmer. I wonder what Discord this is. That's trying to do an 03 here. Oh, I was gonna say, usually whenever I'm playing Realm, I just have Discord up on my left monitor, and yeah, I don't have that up there, so I can't actually see what Discords I might have pings in. I have a while to farm these guys, though, to try to get an HP ring. And there it is. Okay, now all we want to do is try our best. Well, that would be nice. Finally get a new poison and it's stuck. I was really killing that thing more for XP than anything else, since it was just stuck. I guess I should probably kill this. I wonder. There's a chance. Alright. There was a chance. Didn't actually happen. Because why not? I don't know why. They're definitely not doing that fungal. Don't know why the blue star is randomly yelling that out. Honestly, I just need like a T5 sword or dagger, and then I'll probably be fine to get soulbound on Oryx. It'd be great if I could get something. This ain't Hollow Knight. Yeah, this is a that one game in my description or like bio. I don't know if that's what that's called. The Realm of the Mad God. I was never sure if I felt like playing it on stream, but as you can tell, it's a very simple pixel game, but it's fun. How are you, Bull? And I assume that you weren't there for too long before I noticed. This is a low level like character. As soon as it gets up a little bit higher, I can look over at chat more often, just because I will have a little bit more health. Not even a minute. All right, cool. I didn't think I missed it for long. I feel like I might have missed the first. That was the main reason I asked. I might have missed the first longer than that, in case you hadn't typed. Ouch. I'm gonna quit being a baby. My category says Hollow Knight. Ah, yes. The classic forgetting to change the category. I can fix that. That probably helped me, you know, reach other people who actually want to see some Realm stuff. Where's the category? There we go. Once they all stop, they're going to an event. I actually don't know if I feel like TPing to them. Looks like they're there. I was gonna say, not the greatest area for me to go to. It'll help me level up a little bit faster though, at least. Might actually go in this. You shouldn't be awake. You thought I wouldn't watch. Yeah, I did start really late. It was like 30 minutes late or something. I got distracted watching Netflix. I feel like you should always say you shouldn't be awake, well, during my stream. You're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be awake every single time. Yet here you are. I enjoy your presence though. It's always a nice feeling. I forgot about the cats meowing in the background of this. I don't even know if it's actually supposed to be cats meowing. Oh, this guy's at the boss. Let's see. One time though, I was playing and I thought my cat was actually meowing for like a couple hours because I kept going into this dungeon because I was trying to farm it for something. Nice, there's always one inactive viewer, yes. It still counts. I just know that you're there watching or sleeping. Either way. Alright. These enemies, like, when I'm just starting off one of these characters, I always try to farm them. Usually in UDLs, Bull is always watching, yes. Bull is never not here. How are you doing, Sev? This is a game that I waste tons of time in. Looks a bit like Binding of Isaac. I thought about playing that today. Yeah, it's definitely worse than Binding of Isaac. They do a good job in that game. It's still 7 rems? Dang. I am doing well. Did I ask Bull? I don't know. I think I was too busy being confused about if I had missed Bull's first like couple messages or not. Yeah, since I didn't ask, how are you, Bull? I also, so there's an update. You didn't say you're always watching, but you're here. Yeah, I think that's more what I meant. Whether you're always watching or if you're just here, it still counts. Oh yeah, I don't feel like killing this thing. It's annoying. Important discussion. I did ask, you just didn't answer. Okay, nice. That is a distinction. Okay, there are 71 people in here. I wasn't really paying attention. So, what's going on right now? The main like thing you do in this game for a while, before you actually start like doing high-level dungeons, is you wander around the realm a lot, and you close it, and then eventually you get teleported to like the final boss. His name is Oryx. So Oryx the Mad God. So Realm of the Mad God. That's the reference. And so he's like at the end of it. So what happens now, this is like about 2-3-ish years old now. Hey Marcus. Yeah, this is the Hollow Knight DLC. But so now what happens when you clear the realm, there used to always be like a second Oryx. You would go into his wine cellar and then you could kill him again. And so now there's an Oryx 3, which is the what's it called? Oryx 3 is like the final boss of the realm. So it's the only thing you can't organize into like keys. A lot of what goes on in this game is buying keys to go into dungeons so then you can get drops. But this one you can't do that. You have to go in realm. So tons of people will organize in discords to go set up a run in the realm. So I just happened to be in a realm that they decided to use. I didn't actually like pull up the Discord. I'm probably in the Discord that is running this. But since I was here before all of them, I'm allowed to stay. So I'm going to stay and possibly get like potentially some of the best stuff I can get on this character. So yeah, we're just gonna try to live. Mainly, whenever I do O3s, if I do them on a character like this, I want to have like 40 speed. So when you level up, your stats just go up. So different characters have different like stat maxes, and Assassin has pretty high speed already, so I already have 43. So I'll probably be fine during the Oryx. It's just a question of whether I'll get enough damage to be able to get any drops. And then if the drops will be useful. But I'll at least get a couple of potions which you can use to max your stats. And that's what the different colored jars are that I pick up off the ground. But yeah, this game, just great time waster. Oh, and Bull said he was going to bed. Dang, I missed that because I was trying to explain to anyone who didn't know what was going on, since there were a couple of people here already. But hopefully Bull has a good veg. I don't know if he can still hear me or not, because I know sometimes he leaves the stream open, whether he's watching or not. So, alright. So what goes on at this point is they're trying to clear all the realms in this thing, like the remaining events that you need to kill for the realm to close. So they're doing that while I'm screwing around doing nothing in Godlands, killing all the gods to try to get more items. I could be going to the events too, but I'm very lazy when it comes to clearing the realm every single time. Although, like, these events, some of them could drop me things that would be useful. I feel like it's less common than the gods that I'm killing anyway. That's why I'm not doing it. Especially the Penarachs. The Penarachs, there's 5 different things you can hit on them and get soulbound to get items, but I'm very slow, so I wouldn't be able to hit all of them enough to be able to get drops from all of them, so I'm just like not bothering. Yeah, I honestly forget what tier everything goes up to from the gods, but we're hoping we can get T4 abilities, which is the poison that I'm throwing, the like green bomb. So we could get a poison from them. We get 2 tiers higher of a weapon and 1 tier higher of a armor. We could also get 1 more tier up on ring, but I don't know about that. Tier 4 rings are kind of rare from the gods. And it looks like this Godlands is kind of small. Maybe. I can't really tell. Sometimes the map layouts, I don't know if they changed how many maps there are, but I feel like there weren't that many before. I never really did. There's like an efficient realm clearing thing for trying to do as many events. It sounds complex, but I just, like, I've been playing the game for a while, so I know a lot about it. So I'm just kind of trying to fill in anyone who doesn't know, which is pretty much anyone who would normally watch me, since I never play this on stream. This is the first time. And yeah, anyone who has played this game is like probably like, why is he explaining this stuff? If anyone is watching who hasn't been here before. But yeah, I pretty much only do something that's like a self-imposed set of rules for your characters. You only can use the stuff that you pick up on the character. And they released something new called seasonal characters, which they can trade with other people. Like, you can trade most things that aren't like the highest tier stuff. You can trade between players. But with the seasonal characters, you can't trade from people who aren't a seasonal character. And that's like a new thing. I don't know all of the like things they changed with the seasonal character stuff, but it's closer to like a mode of being able to do the self-imposed rules rather than just saying you do them, whether you do them or not. I feel like lying about it just is dumb though. It's like, why would you lie? There's no point, really. It's a pointless pixel game. You should just be like, yeah, I don't do PPEs. And that's what they're called, PPEs. I don't actually remember what it really stands for. I never really cared to remember. All you need to know is that's the acronym that people use. I wonder, I don't know if it's like, if that's an acronym in other games. I don't know if there's things that are similar enough to Realm that people actually call stuff that in other games. But yeah, so you have a vault that you can like store stuff to use on other characters if you wanted to. But since I only use stuff on the characters that I'm playing that they get themselves, I have a bunch of stuff in my vault that I'm almost never going to use. Just kind of screwing around. Alright, so, okay, I am still at 43 speed. This should be okay, maybe. We'll just pray for the best once we go. So once the realm closes, once it hits 0 remaining, like, events, there's 2 minutes that I gotta wait until the realm actually closes and it teleports you to like Oryx's castle. Wait, there's actually... I don't know if I can use those items. I feel like those are for katana classes. I don't know what all... There's a... So for the longest time, there's 4 weapon types? 5? 5 weapon types. And you can only use 1 weapon. Okay, so that's for katana classes. You can only use 1 type of weapon for, like, forever. And they just recently introduced a second for each type, or for each class that uses those weapons. They now have 2 types of weapons, and I haven't used any of the new weapons yet since I haven't played since before they did that. That change isn't super old though. That one's like only a couple months old. So now we're in Oryx's castle, and now the whole goal of this is just to go to this red dot on the minimap over here and kill those stone guardians, and then we go to Oryx. And Oryx 1 and 2, essentially you sit still and murder them. I don't know why this person wants to trade with me. But, so you just sit still, murder them, and that's it. Fun times. But Oryx 3, you actually have to, you know, do stuff. I don't know, people never really agree entirely on what, like, the hardest things in the game are. There's one dungeon called the Shatters that they reworked like a year ago, maybe? I forget when they did it exactly, but they reworked the dungeon, which had been in the game for a long time. It was like the first like endgame dungeon outside of going to Oryx, essentially, I think. And so they reworked it, and so now that and Oryx 3 are like the 2 hardest things in the game, essentially. But not really everyone agrees with that. They might rank them differently, saying which one is harder. But I think, in general, I think the Shatters is harder. O3 is kind of easy, but it's also been out longer, so people are just more used to it. Alright. So now, we could potentially be getting decent stuff. Huh, that's weird. My bitrate says I'm offline. Am I offline? I don't actually know what is going on. That's so weird. I've never had that happen before. My bitrate says I'm offline, but then I'm still live. Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, bitrate. I should switch to OBS and see what it says. I'm sure it's normal, but that's just so strange. I wonder if there's an update to OBS. I think there might be an update, and I just said, tell me about it later. So maybe it's protesting. Yeah, my bitrate looks like what I have it set at, like 6K. Oh. That poison I just threw. There's a ring in this game where if you switch to it and use your ability, it gives you speedy, which just like makes your speed 1.5 times whatever your stat is, so it speeds you up a decent amount. And I tried to switch to it, but I don't have it, so then I threw the poison and I didn't speed up. I wonder if I should try to find whatever Discord this is, because I wonder if they're gonna be like, hey, you're under Rex, so you need to leave. Which is the thing that happens, but I'm not going to. Screw that. I was here first. That's the other thing in this game. When you do keys for dungeons, you can do them in the like bazaar, which is just an in-game shop where you pay money for things. A lot of stuff is cosmetic though, so it's like mostly skins and dyes to change the like skins colors. But people will go in there because when you go into the bazaars and you pop keys, you can kick people from them. So you can do organized runs of only the people you want inside of the keys. And so Discords will do that kind of stuff all the time. And so they can kick you. But from this, you can't be kicked because it's in the realm. And I think you can only kick people from things in the bazaar. I never actually know, because I'm never one of the keys, because you actually have to pay money for the keys, and I wouldn't say broke. I think it would be better to say I'm cheap. I don't feel like paying money for the keys, so I just leech off of other people, which is what happens a lot. Basically, the Discords are set up just to have a bunch of leechers while other people pay for the keys. And that is how Deca is still alive. Deca is the company that owns the game now. And so there's 4 different mini bosses you can have before Oryx 3. And so people like to ask which mini. So Besa is one of the 4, and he can actually drop like an extremely good armor for me. So that would be great if he would do that, but probably not. But it would be nice if he could drop me something that I could use. I don't know if I would be able to get, I might not be able to get Soulbound. So there's different debuffs you can apply to enemies in game, and one of them is armor break. So for the first like couple phases of Oryx 3, he's armor broken by default if you have all of these. There's 3 statues you need to take down, or towers. I don't know why I call them statues. People always call them towers. So there's 3 towers you take down to be able to damage him, and when all 3 towers are down, he's armor broken. So I should be able to do enough with my dagger to actually get Soulbound. And Soulbound's like the minimum amount you need to hit them for to be able to get drops. So hopefully that happens and we get stuff. At the minimum, you get 2 potions. One is a greater potion of life, and one is a greater potion of mana, which are 2 like decently important stats. You know, life being what keeps you alive, your HP, and mana letting you use your ability more often, whether it's to like damage or do support type things. Ow. So this happens sometimes. People dragged enemies from behind the group. That's always fun. That was more enemies than usual though. That was like, oh god. That was like 4 enemies from behind. I usually don't pay attention because when it's an organized run, raid leaders usually get pissed when people do that. But I'm sure since that was so late, nobody was paying attention. And this is the only room out of the 4 mini bosses that you can even do that. Alright, so this is the mini boss. He has his little minions following him around. The biggest one is obviously the boss. I also used to be in RL for Realm for a little bit, just because I had nothing better to do. I had a bunch of time on my hands, so I was like, sure, why not? And for anyone who hasn't played like games with RLs, RLs just means raid leader. So you basically tell the group, you know, what to do to effectively kill the boss. So, you know, some people need leading. It's very helpful sometimes. This is like one of the more fun dungeons to lead people around in, just because it's got a lot more stuff that you can make people aware of so that they can deal with it better and have like a better focus of damage. But also the dungeon is just like one of the most fun ones. And also it's cold in my room. I hate this. 71 degrees. It's not actually that cold, but I feel cold. But this mini boss, I'd say this one's one of the easier ones in general. When you have max stats, it's like pretty easy to survive this mini boss. There's certain things that can, like, some bosses have certain mechanics that can insta-pop you, and those are hard to deal with sometimes. If you don't know it's there, then, like, you're screwed. So when this first came out, there's something they implemented called player opacity. That's why all these other people look like a little ghost-like. So I turned their opacity down. I think I only do like 50%. You can mess with the registry options in your PC to make the brightness of them a little bit lower, or the opacity, but I never really cared to. I got used to this setting and it's fine for me. But before that, sometimes it's hard to tell, like these little falcons that are around, they explode into these big black shots, and if you're standing on one, it kills you instantly. And I think that's like I don't know how many times. I think I might have only died to Besa on like a decent character one time, and it was because I got hit, or I just like was standing on one of the birds and died immediately. But that was before opacity, so I couldn't actually see the bird. A bunch of players were all just standing in the same spot, so it was impossible to see past them. And yeah, I died. It was fun though. Always fun to get some sort of insta-death, and then you're like, oh, okay, so I just need to not let that happen again. Yeah, so I think, yeah, so the bag that I would have had is around that flag, and I didn't get anything from that. I didn't know if I had a chance because I don't know how strong the poisons are now. They reworked this class, I think, since the last time I played, and so it might be a little bit stronger than it used to be. It might be a little bit weaker, but like works differently. So this boss, he has phase changes that are pretty much easily readable. If you know enough about the boss, you can predict his patterns entirely. And then you know which phases are best for damage. Like this is a bad one. Fleeing, it's just not great. He's spinning erratically in a tornado, and then certain phases do guards, and certain phases do staggers. But all of the phases at the very end, if you do enough damage, will have a guard. Then if you shoot through the guard, if you do enough damage, then he does a counter. So we have a second counter right now because the very first time he guarded, we shot him because either the raid leader didn't call it or the raiders were trolling. So he sickened us, which means we couldn't heal. So usually a lot of people nexus during that, but since it's the very beginning of the fight, this is like a generally pretty easy part, so nobody really nexus to that. But yeah, the more you like play this, the more you figure it out. I'm also staying a little bit far away since I am a little bit slower. The main goal when you're this kind of low level starting out PvE, you just try to live. And if you live, then your PvE could be off to a good start. So this is not great. Since I'm so slow, I'm just trying to go around all of the this whole phase, dance phase, with these portals around the outside and the inside is a pretty dangerous thing, since all of the stuff does a lot of damage to you when you don't have max stats or good gear. So I'm going to just do my best. Alright, we're out of dance, so I'm pretty safe at this point, I would say. Now it depends on how quick we can kill him after we get what's called Celestial, which is like a big parsing time. So the bosses in this game also have adaptive HP, which adapts to the number of players are actually in the dungeon now. They implemented that a couple of years ago, and the point was it tried to get around the whole brute forcing dungeons by having a ton of people with high DPS in it. So now the more people you have, the more damage you have to do to the boss anyway, and it's exponential. So if you have too many people, then it makes it really inefficient for killing things. So there will be groups that people make to be able to do dungeons faster, and they call them vet runs, because typically it's more experienced players who have good gear, who can then do lots more damage and instantly like get out of bad things. So like this is bad. At least bad for me, the way that happened. So what happens now, we got it, so past Celestial, then there's one other phase past it that you have to do through the fight, called Heavens, where these beams that keep spawning, every 3 strikes, there's beams that go either from left to right, right to left, inner to outer, outer to inner. That wave of beams that just went across. So you have to dodge through them while dodging Oryx's shots and all the other beams. So this is just like technically the hardest part of the fight, unless you kill him really fast, because he has pretty low HP at this point. So if you have high DPS, you can get through this pretty fast. So I don't really know if I'm gonna get soulbound from this or not. A T6 weapon with a T0 ability that actually does damage is probably not enough, if I had to guess. Also, me running over these towers is not great, since I don't have max defense. That would probably one-shot me with the shots they do. The towers aren't really that strong by themselves, but against a character with 0 defense, they're pretty strong. Because they shoot like, I'd say at least like 8 shots, and they do 60 to me right now, I think. So 8 shots times 60 would be 400, and that would put me pretty low. Right. I don't know why I said 400, 480, but you know, same thing. That's a lot of health to be eating all at once, especially if I was already like close to dying. Yeah, this isn't great. Not ideal. In these portals, I think they would do enough damage if I stood on one when they're shooting out that pattern of 4 shots. I think 4 shots would be enough to kill me. And I'm just staying away from him during this phase because this phase is kind of ugly even when you're max stats. There is a rotation you can do by staying close to the middle, but I'm not fast enough to do it, I don't think. 50 speed, which is the max for some classes, is about like the minimum I like for being able to do the rotation of that one phase. Alright, he's dead now. So we made it. So now, hopefully we get a drop, and hopefully it's more than just the 2 potions that are the minimum. This is just basically a chest phase, which it's funny that they call things chest phases because they don't ever just drop chests anymore. Alright, so we got something, but we can't actually use it. So we're just going to keep it as a good luck item. And so now we go do random stuff to try to get more items. I don't know, I can look around in the discords that I'm in to see if any are doing runs that I'm allowed to go with this character to. Because sometimes they do like no requirement runs, which means you can bring like the crappiest characters you want. And reckless. Okay, it looks like this one server is going to. Gonna do that. There we go. Now I have both my Discord app and my Chrome up at the same time so I can see chat and wait for the ping from the Discord. So now we're just going to try to find random dungeons. So this green dungeon right here is good. You can get more speed potions in here, so you can increase your speed. So that's what I'm going to do. Until they tell me where to go, I'm going to do this, and we're going to hope I get a snake eye ring, which will let me speed up a lot when I need to get out of situations, which in that 03, there were a couple of situations that were just gross because I couldn't go fast enough. I'm gonna wait. I was gonna say, I think he's at the boss. Okay, so we got a speed potion. So that's good because now we can keep doing random things in here. There's also rooms called treasure rooms, which just have more chances to drop the same potion and other like items. But in higher level dungeons, the T rooms, you know, drop better items. But in this, I wouldn't get anything great, but I could still get more potions. So this is a T room. In this dungeon, they're always to the left and right. If you don't rotate your map, which I don't rotate my map, you can have it set to like lock, which most people do. And so I enjoy when it locks. If you don't lock it, it's complete chaos. I feel like there's no real way to tell what way your map is facing. I'm sure you would probably get used to it somehow. I just don't really know how that would feel. Okay, so we got another speed potion. and it's not super common to have multiple tea rooms in some dungeons. It's possible in here, like this over on the mini map, this far right thing, I might be able to find another one there, but I just like to cut my losses sometimes and go find another dungeon where it's guaranteed to get at least another speed potion. If I help them kill this, I can get... Oh god. I don't like that. When you have a lot of defense, those things can be scary. I was probably fine, but I'd rather not go through the work of what I did already. Leveling up takes a little bit. Dang, looks like that no Rex run that they were possibly going to do died. And by died, I mean they didn't find... You need 3 runes to be able to do Oryx 3, and so they didn't find all the runes. Damn. Oh hey, we got a better poison, which would have helped us in that 03. Oh wait, I don't want to break that. I don't feel like going in there. So what I'm going to aim to do now is continue going into those snake pits. Try to get a snake eye ring. And then I'll try to get to dungeon, or like the requirements in most discords to meet runs. And that's mostly what the first like day of playing a PvE is, trying to get to the requirements of the Discord runs, so that you can do Discord runs and then leave the realm forever and never come back until you want to do Oryx 3. At least that's how it is and has been for the longest time since they made 03. But maybe Deco will fix that one day. Maybe they'll make being in the realm a little bit better than it has been. They made realm clearing a little bit faster. I haven't been playing since that change either, so I don't know how well that's been working. But I think I've been hearing people complain about it less, so I'm sure that that means that it fixed it a little bit. But the realm clearing has been the same for forever, and it's just been like super long and tedious, and nobody would ever want to do it. So there'd be tons of realms that would just sit like open for forever because nobody would want to clear them, so they wouldn't, so then they would never close and go to Oryx, which is like generally the whole point of the game, is trying to close the realms and go to Oryx and then get free stuff and then go back and do it again. Which I guess is the whole point of roguelikes, right? I think that's the genre of game that Realm fits into a little bit. Let me see. Tabbing over in Discord. I'm sure that if I crash Lokes now, they'll be pissed. And by crashing Lokes, it's like going to the location under Rex, or when you're not in the run, like invited to the run. What I might do now, since I didn't realize, I thought it was on West 4, which I should have known, because it's a more popular place for people to hang out. I should have known I wasn't on West 4 when I saw like hardly anyone in the realm that I was playing in. Oh, apparently West 4 is dead right now too. We'll go to US East. So the realm is a little, or the server is a little bit full apparently. So people are probably popping keys. They have events that give you more drops in certain dungeons every once in a while. So people like to go to the same server and pop keys, so then it just becomes a server that people to go to a lot. I don't really feel like waiting in a queue though. I never do. We'll try East 2 and see if people are actually there. People popping shadens. Yeah, see, this is better. So since this has 85 out of 85 in the realm, they'll actually close it and we can go to Oryx. Whether we go to Oryx 3 or not doesn't really matter, because Oryx 1 and 2 will give me decent items, hopefully, while I'm doing random dungeons to try to figure out where else I want to go and try to get items. But yeah, I wonder... I don't think that this would be another run. Wait, what do I have a ping in here for? Oh. There's another Discord that I'm in that has, like, their entire Discord server is based on not having requirements. But I think it's been mostly dead for a long time. Let me see. You can usually tell also in raid chat if people are talking to an RL because they'll be responding or asking questions, and then they'll respond in ways that make no sense to nobody saying anything. Which happens sometimes if you go to a randomly full realm. Let me see. I'm gonna try locking this one raid leader to see if I accidentally found the location again. Okay. Oh, yep. That, I'm assuming that they're talking to an actual RL, but sometimes people like to just randomly say dumb things about RLs in chat. But there's a chance. I don't really know. Usually on the weekdays around this time, when I was playing Realm, there weren't a lot of runs that would be going on. Since I tried to lock that one person. I'm assuming that's how you spell their name. I'm just gonna try to lock one other random person that's in this Discord call. Yeah, okay. Since they didn't actually get locked, they either didn't make the run or they're not here. I'm just gonna assume that this isn't a run, and we're just gonna go to Oryx and get stuff. We hope. But yeah, so now basically the point of me being in a realm, I'm gonna try to get potions, which usually being in Godlands is a decent way, but apparently there aren't any. I was gonna say, aren't any gods. There they are, found all of them. They're just hiding up here where nobody else is. They have like respawn areas for certain gods, and if there's too many people in the Godlands spread out, they won't respawn. But this is not one of those times. And sometimes the Godlands are too small anyway to let the gods respawn, so it sucks. And I don't know, this doesn't seem super small, but it's not the greatest. Yeah, also, realm people are very odd. So if you're reading the chat, I'd recommend just turning your brain off, and you might understand what they're saying. But yeah, so it's a lot of the same stuff when you're playing Realm. I just kind of didn't feel like running Hollow Knight today, so I was doing this. I was thinking about playing Binding of Isaac, but I just don't have the energy for the game either right now. I feel like I have to put in so much effort to play that. I'm still like trying to gauge whether somebody was actually talking to an RL or not. Like I said, it's not the end of the world if it's not an O3. O3 is just like the most fun thing to do on really bad characters. Being a terrible character in an O3, just trying to survive is always great, even if it's not that bad to survive. So what is the range of this? 3.5 squares. Okay, that is bigger than the tier 1 poison. Let's say the tier 1 poison looked like it was like 2 squares. So now we should be able to easily get some more possible soulbound. I still don't know what this like, it's not even a pentagram, because it's more than 5 points. I don't know what that's from. It's some ability that I just am not aware of. At least I assume it's an ability. Okay. So based on the amount of people that aren't just going straight into the portal, I know it's not an O3. Normally in O3 everyone just goes directly into the portal. So there's another like mini boss up top if you destroy all the statues in the castle, where then you can go to Oryx's like court dungeons. They're just random other dungeons that drop like decent stuff. Not great, but if you're only going to do Oryx 2, sometimes it's worth doing those dungeons to possibly get each dungeon at a high enough level has their own like unique white bags, which drop untiered weapons, armors, rings, and or accessories. They changed that name. Rings, accessories, armor, weapon abilities. Like you can farm certain dungeons for certain abilities and whatnot, and some are better than others. And so some of the court dungeons have okay stuff. They're also not amazing. There's these dungeons that are listed here, like the main places people get stuff from. All of those places drop like the highest value items that you would want most of the time. Event whites from the unique events in Realm are also good, but they're a lot more rare. Yeah, once I get like some more decent, like if I get a higher tiered weapon from this, which is unlikely, if I do though, I could start trying to go farm pots from different dungeons faster on my own, and then I might do that. I was not timing that well. It's always fun. Not a lot of people always stay in on this phase, even though it's pretty easy. You just have to dodge between these gray shots, which quiet you, and the red shots. The red shots do a lot of damage, and the quiets are just bad for DPS and using your abilities. Yeah, like 258. That was a lot more than I expected. I just didn't dodge it because I didn't want to get hit by the quiet shot either. So Oryx 2 has a really decent chance of just not dropping you anything, regardless of whether you do enough damage or not. So we can only hope. Alright, it dropped us something. We'll take those. That is good enough for me. I doubt that that's going to be an O3, so I'm just going to leave, so I can go do more stuff. Do I want to wait in a queue of 10? That's probably the realm that just closed, Snake. And Unicorn probably doesn't have enough people for me to TP to Godlands to do the dungeons I want to do, so I'm going to try to wait in here, and hopefully we get in soon. can also peek around and see if any other Discords decided they felt like doing no rec runs, which would be cool. You know, does not look like it. This server, I just scrolled to the top of this server, and then I got a ping at the bottom of it. It's also been like months since I even clicked into some of these servers, so I have a lot of pings that mean nothing anymore. What was this one? I'm inviting you to join a new server. Oh, I'm already in that server. Scrolling to the bottom of all of the things. And now only one more server has red numbers next to it, which means I'm almost done scrolling through. Okay. You have to glance over, if you're like just AFK not doing anything, you have to glance over every once in a while to make sure the realm didn't close and just disappear while you're sitting here. Alright, so we're at 0 in the queue, which means I get to not sit here and do nothing in a couple seconds soon. We can hope. This is by far my worst class out of all the ones I have, but that's okay, because it did just start. Alright, so usually teleporting to the big blob in the middle is a decent way to find the Godlands, which is the fast way to find all the dungeons that you want pots in. So we're just going to do my best to kill this gold Medusa so that I get that. And the gold gods guaranteed drop dungeons that they correspond to. There's an RNG chance to drop them. And we hate that. You know. And so while you're trying to gauge if there could possibly be a tea room in these, you have to like sort of get used to where how big the rooms are to know if it would even fit between the edges of the black on the map. Okay, another speed potion. So like looking at this right now, I don't know where exactly this goes, so there's a chance that this middle one could lead up to a tea room, but not a high enough chance that I'm gonna do it. If I was farming the dungeons for pots on like a character who was already max, I would possibly go run and check, but sometimes it's just better to not do it, so then you can go find another dungeon and just get a guaranteed potion rather than taking the chance you might get another one from the same dungeon. But on fast enough characters, it's usually worth the check the whole thing. There's only a couple classes, because their abilities let them be faster, that are actually worth checking dungeons fully. Unless it's like a higher up dungeon which has decent items from tea room and there's only one tea room because the items are better, then it's usually worth finding. So this is another dungeon I should probably be doing. In this, I can go find myself some dexterity potions from the boss, which obviously just let me do more damage, because dexterity is a stat that I think is shared in a lot of things. This is a kind of not ideal situation. Having these things in here that do okay damage to me while I'm trying to kill this thing. This bigger enemy could possibly drop attack potions. Mainly the reason of being in here is to try to increase my damage. So I want the attack potions if I can get them. While I'm on a weak character, I only go around looking for those bigger ones that drop attack potions while I'm on my way to the boss. And if I don't find any more, I just go straight to the boss, kill it, leave. This isn't terrible. I don't know if they really did make the poisons better, like more DPS, because they used to just, like Assassin just used to not be a great class. Oh god. This isn't really threatening, I just am not used to it. So that... Oh no. Okay. You can get infinite DC in this game, and if it happens, you're just stuck out of the game for 10 minutes. So I thought that was about to happen. Usually when it takes a little bit longer to load like that, that's what's happening in it. I hate it. And they did fix it and make it a lot better than it used to be. But it still happens, and it's really awful. It's like, oh great, now I can't play your game for 10 minutes. Alright, bye. I'm done for the day. I never enjoy playing after I've been DC'd, because I just have to sit there and wait for no reason. Alright, I was gonna say, we're still killing these because they can drop the snake pits. Ow. Yeah, when you max your defense, this dungeon doesn't really have anything to threaten you. But when your defense is 0, because all classes start at 0 defense and it doesn't go up until you start drinking defense potions, this dungeon can hurt. Alright, we'll wear that, because it gives us a little bit more speed. I think it's actually not even, like, much better than this. Yeah. Basically, if we get, like, a tier 10 armor, I'll take this UT armor off and never wear it again. But for now, we're using it because of the extra speed drops. Oh, wait, does this have... Okay, so these only drop from certain enemies, like these extra spiders. They added dungeon mods not too long ago in this game, and so one of the dungeon mods makes more spiders spawn from enemies, like a chance to have them spawn from enemies, and those spiders, which are normally only in the other dungeon, ow, and they do a lot of damage for what they are, but those enemies can drop these potions, which are a decent healing item, like a secondary healing item than just the regular attack potion or regular HP potions. So I like to grab them as my secondary, like, quick slot item for when I need more health. Okay, nice. We love when there's one of these with more space to the side of it. This should take me a lot less time than last time. I think last time I still had my T7 or T6 and my T0 poison. Mainly, I think the poison is doing the damage here. Alright, yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes you can tell by how long it takes to go through a hallway. You're like, yeah, this is too short, or too long. Like, you see how short this is. I feel like generally in this dungeon, the entrances to the tea rooms are really short. So as soon as it goes a little bit longer than about how long that takes to do, I'm like, yeah, this is probably wrong. There's nothing here. I still never turn around though, because I could be wrong. just in case I'm wrong. I'm like, all right, I'll wait. So the whole goal for me of PPEs this early on is to try to max like a bunch of stats. So the second number to the right of the first number over here on these attributes, they that's the number you need to max. Why are they? Oh, they're all over here grouping up with gods. That makes sense. But so the number you need to max, then you cannot increase that stat anymore. And people usually shorten it by saying like what number out of 8 they are, because there's 8 stats in the game. So they say like 8/8 means you're completely maxed. And that's like my main goal. And then once I get 8/8, then I try to go get better stuff. But along the way of trying to max, usually I get better stuff anyway. This, since there's something above it, doesn't have a great chance to have a tea room. This might, though. Nope. We teleport to this guy and go back. I'll be polite and sit here for a second to see if he wants to teleport back. No. Right. I'm leaving. Oh wait, there's a ping in this one thing. US 2. I'm trying to find this. There we go. We made it. I was worried. I didn't know how long I missed that ping for. It's literally been a minute. I'm allowed to bring this character to this, so we're doing it. Basically, doing both. People call Oryx, they just shorten it to O1, O2, O3 for the 3 versions of him. Doing O3 and Shatters are like super addicting. Because they generally drop just the best items you can get for anything. And then they're fun because they're actually difficult somewhat. And this game is permadeath, so when a character dies, like all the stuff that was on it is just gone. So, you know, the risk of dying makes it feel more like exhilarating, I guess would be the word. I don't know. But yeah, so there's also so over here at the very bottom, that tells you how much fame you're gonna have when you die. There's multipliers. If I scroll down a little bit here, so actually I don't know why I'm scrolling that far down. So like this stuff, I don't know, is somebody in here with me now? Crap, I should have been paying attention so I could kill this thing fast. There we go, that works. I don't know if this does more damage. Let me see. It does not, so we don't care about it. But so these numbers, these ones, these are like extra fame you get on death. And then there's multipliers. So at least there were multipliers. I don't know. There aren't multipliers now, are there? I forget how fame on death works anymore. But so the more stuff you do, the more fame you get when you die, and you use the fame for certain things, or you can just collect it and hoard it and be like one of the top people with death fame. And yeah, that's like the point of the game. So if you do die, then gaining more fame is good. So doing these low-level dungeons, there's a requirement to do one of each dungeon. And in certain eras, there's like mini compartments. So there's one big one of just doing every single dungeon you can. And then there's certain areas that split up into of doing certain eras of dungeons of when like the first company that owned the game owned it. then the second one added a couple dungeons, doing those dungeons, and now Deca, who has it, and doing their dungeons. And then I think there's like a couple other ones that are just like doing like the court dungeons I mentioned earlier. Doing the 5 court dungeons that exist, doing all of those is a certain step. You get a bonus for that. So doing the low level dungeons is important. So that's Spider Den, which I am now decently high enough of a character that I would say that that's like a trivial dungeon that I was doing just to get that completion out of the way. So I don't ever have to do one again if I don't want to. Like I can go in it, get something that people do a lot is go in there and get these healing Ikers, and then they leave. So I could do that and not have to finish the dungeon. I could go back to the beginning and go through this portal of cowardice, which takes you back into the realm if I was like in a hurry. But that dungeon's so short that once you are high enough, you just blast through it anyway. But it's nice to not have to do it again. And I do always try on my characters to get all of the bonuses I can. Just because you will die eventually, and when you do, having also the death fame, if you have a high enough death fame, there's like a leaderboard in game that it tracks it on. I can actually look at it in a second to show. So it shows like the highest fame on death of all time, which I think they reset just because they needed to. Oh, I forgot why. They reset it because they changed the way that fame worked. Like, you gain it faster now, but the death bonuses are a little bit different. So they reset the leaderboard to have it go back to, like, representing how the game is now. So these legends... So, this guy died, and his base fame, it doesn't tell you exactly what it was. But with the bonuses he had and everything, he got to 2 million death fame. So that's gotta be like up there. Yeah, so 2 million death fame is a lot. He is now 3rd all time on these leaderboards. I'm gonna go here. I'm going here because this could potentially give me 3 potions when it dies. And we want more potions. So now I have high enough gear that I'll go to whatever events pop up in the realm. So once you get level 20, which is the max level, it's not like super hard to get to level 20, but once you get to level 20, then your quest is like the hardest technically thing to do in the realm. Whatever one you're closest to. So if there's 2 events in the realm, it'll show you whichever one is closer. But if there's only one, then it'll show you that quest, like this Cube God. I need to go to that because the event weight that drops from it is like one of the best daggers that I could get. So it's extremely rare, and I probably won't get it, but the chance that I will means I have to go. We're gonna wait for them to teleport, and this is bad. This is bad. I could potentially die doing that. I tried to wait a little bit to let people teleport there to kill all the gods near it. If I had higher defense, I would have been fine to just stay there. But since my defense is still, I think it's at 1, like higher. Yeah, so the base defense of certain classes, the lowest that a class has, the max is 25 defense. There's a couple that have 30 and one that has 40. So the most of the time you'll have to get 25 defense pots to max your defense. If I had 25 defense, I would have stayed there. I would have been safe enough. Let's go to this. I actually don't want to be here. These pink clouds, or these purple clouds, do so much damage if you're near them. Well, that's an 8/8 die. So another cool thing about the game, which has been in it for like, I don't know if it was always in the game, but there's special graves that change when you die, depending on how many stats you have maxed. So this guy had all of his stats maxed, who just died here. I don't actually know what he died by. Did it say? Killer Pillar. Oh, that's funny. That's one of these 4 gray pillars on the corners here. He actually died to one of them, which is kind of impressive considering. So there's actually 8 of them now. There used to only be 4, I believe. Yeah. So there's 2 more that are, or there's 4 more that are further out on the corners, but like that's actually really impressive he died to that. Because they do like these shots during this phase. These ones that are coming at me from the bottom right, but they only shoot along the very bottom, and or like they only shoot along the sides during the phase that he died in. So he got hit by 1 shot. So he was close enough to dying that 1 shot mattered, which is, like I said, impressive. I just want to check. They added dungeon modifiers, which I think I said earlier. I wasn't planning on going in that, but I just wanted to see. It's always fun to see what randomized mods are on the dungeon. Alright, time to go back to Godlands, and we're gonna hope we get free pots. So on characters like this, it's always fun to just run around in Godlands trying to get random pots. There's 6 remaining. So for now, since getting the random pots is not that great of a chance, you can only get speed, attack, and defense from the gods in the realm. So I'm gonna go in here, try to get some dexterity, so then later on I won't need as much. I'm gonna farm this while I can, so then I can boost my DPS to get soulbound easier. So that one was another bigger enemy that could drop me an attack pot. So I stopped, took the scenic route of killing it, and now we kill the boss. Yeah, I think I was right estimating when I said this armor I'm wearing, this snakeskin armor. It's always a trade-off usually with UTs of when it might be better or worse than a tiered item. There's certain armors that are just guaranteed better, but this snakeskin armor is like a low class UT item, so it will almost never be better than the higher tier stuff. And by almost never, I mean never. So now, like I said, I was just guessing when I said tier 10. I thought that seemed like where it would be. So I'd be losing 4 defense for 3 speed, but on an assassin, I already have 55 speed with the 3 speed. I don't really need much more than 50 to survive in 03. So having 50 speed means I do not need this UT armor anymore, and I'll trade it off as soon as I get a tier 10 or higher. Also, that Penteract, I'm still too lazy to go there, because I still probably don't have high enough DPS to get drops from all 5 of the Penteract spots, so I don't care to go to it. They're usually pretty worth if you're fast enough and have enough DPS, since you can potentially get 5 things from them. And mostly those 5 things would be like potions to max. But yeah, so this game, this used to be basically the pinnacle of the game. Running around, killing gods. A long time ago, this is like all you could do. You were just basically doing this non-stop to gain fame. Oh yeah, that miner in that event is something I need to go to. Because it has a poison that can armor break. I think there's 3 items total that can armor break in the game. So it's a really good item, but it's pretty rare since it's an event white. But if I could get it, then that would be pretty great for this PPE. I'm gonna try to kill this though, because this will drop me a defense potion. So the gold gods guaranteed also drop a potion, as well as their dungeon. So this thing, in a normal circumstance, is really great to find for me right now while I'm trying to max stats, because the dungeon that it drops is also like one of the main dungeons to get defense from. So I like to max defense as soon as I can, but it's a pain when you don't have a lot of DPS. But those dungeons, they reworked those a little while ago, so they're not too bad to do now. They used to be horrible to rush on classes that weren't great for rushing, just because you get sickened if you stepped in the water. And yeah, getting sickened in those dungeons was painful because it was really hard to dodge all the enemies or kill them fast enough that you didn't have to dodge them. So you had to actually have pretty high skill to rush those, and then you also had to be on a good class for rushing. You couldn't just rush it on any class easily. Oh god, why am I going this way? I don't like this. So this is kind of a form of rushing, but for rush, you usually need to have like a good ability, or be super fast, or be super tanky. And I am none of those things right now. Assassins are just fast. They're not really tanky, and they don't really have a great ability for rushing. So I wouldn't rush too much stuff on this, but since they max out speed at 75, they're okay to rush on. Because 75 speed lets you outrun like most things, unless you get slowed. Alright. I heard something drop, yeah. Nothing useful though. Oh, hey, the realm is closed, which means time to kill gods until we get teleported. And just hope that we get a couple more potions to save us the trouble of going in dungeons later on. There's also normally an order to the stats that I max. So speed and dexterity, the dungeons that you go in to max those are pretty easy. Then once I max dex, then I'll go into things that I need a little bit higher, like DPS to kill things in. So if I'll max speed and dex, if I get close to max speed, and I have max dex, then I'll go in those sews, the toxic sewers, which drop defense. I don't know what other great dungeons there are. So there's cursed libraries. They drop wisdom and vitality. Those two stats aren't super important all the time. And undead lairs. Sometimes if I'm really looking for wisdom, I'll go in those. But the main stats I try to max first are those 4 defense, attack, speed, and dexterity. Then once I have those, I just kind of chip away at the other ones while I'm trying to go farm good items for my class. And so this crystal that they're shooting at, you need a certain amount of DPS to be able to crack that crystal. And it doesn't really drop that great of stuff, so nobody wants to, like, nobody feels like killing it out of the 69 people that are in the realm right now. There's only about 10 of us that are even at this thing. It's not that hard to kill, they just don't feel like it. Yeah, like, we're definitely not killing it. And so when the realm shakes, when you're about to be teleported to Oryx Castle, you're actually invulnerable now. You have been for a long time, but they made that change, so you'll see people run over things that would normally kill them every once in a while, which is always funny. If you're in a dungeon and you get that lag, you can also run over things and use it to kind of rush through spots, but then at the end you'll have really bad lag for a second. So it's a little bit risky if you don't know what's going to be at the end of your rushing. But yeah, I always enjoy no Rex runs, because while the adaptive, like, HP scaling thing makes it a little bit bad if you have bad gear all over the place, it's really not that bad. good players can do a decent amount of DPS with bad sets. And it probably offsets like the worst players who bring a little bit better sets, because they won't push in for all the phases, so they can't do as much damage because they're not even in to do damage. So it evens out somewhat. But I would say an average player with a good set would do more than like a okay, or like a good player with like a terrible set. Because it's just way easier once you're maxed and stuff with a good set to do more damage. But a high skill player could do the same amount of damage as like an average player with a good set with good play. There's certain people who make videos, they have terrible sets, and then they'll get top damage, which Oryx 2 and Oryx 3 call out who gets the most damage on them, unless they Nexus before the fight ends. If they do the most damage and then the fight ends, it'll say like a hero of the Nexus did, so nobody knows who did the top damage. I'm sure that that's some kind of reference thing, like when they made the damage call out, Realm couldn't keep track of who it was if they weren't in the realm anymore. So if they left before the thing died, they're like, well, someone did this amount of damage. We know how much damage the top person did because we keep track of it, but we don't know who it was. Usually Oryx 1 doesn't get to do this much shooting. I don't know why I'm even backing out. Backing out is dumb in this phase. But he usually doesn't get to do that much shooting, because if you're a knight and you stun him, which just, as it sounds like, makes things not attack, you can stun Oryx 1 for the entire fight. There's only one attack he does that doesn't get affected by stuns. If you stun him, then even during that phase, he stands still and throws bombs, and you can dodge the bombs really easily. Or you can tank them if the phase isn't super long and you don't even have to move. But, let's see. You can do certain commands in this too. How many knights are there? I can't read that fast sometimes. There are 3 knights. Usually if there's like... there's less than like 4 or 5. I don't expect knights to do their job. It's hard to press spacebar, apparently. That's the default bind, so usually people will say spacebar when they're talking about not using your ability. There used to be a fame bonus that was called mundane that you would get for not using your ability ever on the class, but that doesn't exist anymore, so there's literally no reason, unless you're doing like a challenge, to not use your ability. A T10 dagger, we'll take that. Not amazing, but better than what we had. Hey Ashes, I don't know how long you've been there and I missed it, but nice Korok. Oh, that's Elms's emote? That's funny. I didn't know whose that was when you first sent it. Like 2 minutes. Yeah, there hadn't been much chat activity, so I was getting zoned out and just talking about the game. But yeah, it's a fun time waste. It's kind of like Isaac. Like, I play them to waste time, usually. But today I didn't feel like Hollow Knighting. So I was like, well, I could play this or Isaac, and I also decided I didn't have the energy to play Isaac. Love the art style. Yeah, the game's like 10 years old, but it's kind of funny. So they actually updated the class, the default class skins. So they look a little bit better now than they used to. I could show you the old ones because they have the classic skin. I don't know if you had to be playing for a long time or if you could get them no matter what. But there's like classic skins that were how they used to look, and pretty much all of the new skins that they made for the default are just better. They just did better shading, kinda. Like the gist of it. They gave it like a little bit more detail, which is funny because it's just pixels. But it's still much, much better. It feels like a more well put together game, even if it's not. But yeah. If there's any questions that you have, Ashes, feel free to ask me, because I know a lot of stuff about the game, but there's random things about it that people probably know that aren't important that I'm like, yeah, I don't need to know that. Like, one of the things is damage numbers. Damage is important, and some people actually know like the specific damages or damage values that you can do with certain sets, and it's like I might throw that into like a DPS calculator to try to decide what items I would want most on like a class, but other than that, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I just like items that look cool and are from hard to do dungeons, because then it's more impressive. All the other people ghosts. No, so that's the player opacity. So when this dungeon that we're in came out, this is called Oryx Sanctuary. When this dungeon came out, it was really hard to see some of the attacks, and a lot of them, if you can't see them, could insta-pop you, just kill you immediately, and it's a permadeath game. So once your character dies, you don't get it back. And so if your character died to something that you got insta-pop for, it'd be really annoying. And so they implemented opacity, so you can actually see past other players now if you want. So I have it, I think it's at about like 50% opacity, which is fine for me. I like to see the other players there still. Some people like to just turn them off entirely. So what happens if you turn the opacity to 0? It's just like little shadows. You can't even see the person at all. There's just like a shadow where they would be. Yes, all of the people here that you see moving are other people. Anything that has damage numbers above it is an enemy. So, yeah. So this is a mini boss. And so this dungeon, the main point is to kill Oryx 3. But in each time of doing this, there's a chance to get one of the 4 mini bosses. And they go off from this start room. They go off in the 4 directions. So you know which one it is at the start from either the quest portrait that pops up or which direction you're going. But every single time then you end up fighting Oryx 3. And that's, I think I said earlier, but I'll say again for you, Ashes. Oryx 3 is like one of the top dungeon bosses. You can get like the best items almost from them, the best tiered items for sure. But some untiered items are better than the UT item, or than the tiered items. But this is where all the top tier items come from for now. And this, I think, has been out. I think it's like almost been 3 years, if not already been 3 years now. Let me see. Sometimes it's not a great time to read it, but I've never really had to read at the same time as playing Realm. It's each person basically on their own. You can see other people, and you're working together. Yeah. So you're trying to do what you can to get the items that you want, but it is like a group-focused game. So you do dungeons with other people, and generally it's easier with other people. There's like a sweet spot in the middle now. They introduced HP scaling for bosses, so the more people there are, the more health they have exponentially. But it's still generally easier to have more people, because more people equals more damage, so you can kill things faster, so then their HP matters less. Like this right now, that knife wall that we just did, this boss normally does knife walls after each phase, but we did enough damage that we got a knife wall early, and if you do that in this boss, you also get sickened, so you can't heal during that knife wall. But yeah, there are a lot of things about this dungeon that are cool. This is like a very interactive dungeon, I feel like, that Deca, the company that owns this game now, developed. And it was like a really great thing at the time when they released this, because the game just, like, the endgame content in this game wasn't amazing, but Deca has been slowly making it better and better. They just do like small reworks at a time when they can, and most of the time the changes are good. Oh, a red bag. The red bags are generally the highest tier items you can get. From the mini bosses, you get 1 tier down from the highest tier. Yeah, so that's really good. So that's the highest tiered ring you can have. And it gives me 180 HP. You might download it. You hate keyboard and mouse though. Yeah, this is like the main game I play keyboard and mouse in. I'm really bad at aiming. Like if I played an FPS game with keyboard and mouse, it would be horrible. I cannot aim, but that's because I always played... Oh. I underestimated how slow I am. Since I don't have max speed, I can't actually go in and do what I was going to try to do. Just running in there fast. If I switched to this, I could have done it. But I'm too lazy to keep swapping all the time. Yeah, really? Like, the aiming of the mouse in this isn't too bad. Since it's like a pixel game, there's only so much accuracy that you need to aim at stuff. And you get used to it over time just playing. So I think my account, I don't know why I said this game has been out for like 10 years. I think it's longer. I think this game has been out for like at least 12 years, maybe? My account's almost 11 years old now. But I haven't been playing that whole time. I play on and off a lot. Wait, where am I? I was gonna say, people usually group up top right. Your setup isn't the best either. Your keyboard is just on your coffee table and the PC on the table. Fair enough. I feel like if it's an actual PC, you're probably fine. This game is not well optimized, but they made it better, so you don't need a like great PC to run it now. I used to play on my laptop. It was a little bit laggy, but that was back in the old days when it was like horrible. It was horrible to play this on anything. I would lag all the time. But they fixed it generally, so you don't need something super high end. And it's just, like I said, it's a game I play to waste time. It's a very great way to waste time. Since it's a permadeath game, then you lose all your progress as soon as you die. You can run a lot of stuff. Yeah, like that's probably plenty. That's honestly might be overkill for this game. So this phase right now, this is called Celestial, and it usually parses out a lot of people. I wasn't really paying attention to how many people we had when it started. Ouch. Should probably not just run into things for no reason. So the way that it works typically is where we are now. When you load up the game, you go into like a server. When you first start, I believe it'll always be what's it called? Why can't I think? It'll just select the best server based on your connection, but you can change it. So then whatever server you're on, there's realms that you go into. So this dungeon you have to be in a realm, but all the other ones you can buy keys, and so that's what people do a lot. But so the main thing that people do is like to play the game normally. You go into a realm, you start going through the realm, killing random things in the realm. Certain things can drop dungeons, so you can go in those and do those dungeons. But for endgame stuff, there's these exalts that you do, and so people will buy keys to those dungeons and then go pop them in bazaars that are in the Nexus, which is like the safe area where you can't like be in combat or anything. You're just safe to be there and trade with people, go into realms. But there's also the bazaars, so people go into bazaars, pop their keys, and then you'll do like an organized run through discords. And that's what happens for a lot of the endgame dungeons. So you could do it randomly, but it's very uncommon just because it used to be very slow. So the way that the realms used to work, realm clearing, there's like random events that pop up as you're killing things that are just guaranteed to be in there. Ow, gross. This is just not a good... That was not a good time. So there's random events that pop up at certain points of realm clearing. and is Realm of the Mad God. Yes, it is on Steam. So there's a standalone launcher and there's a Steam launcher. I don't know which is better. Like, it's basically the same thing, but you can have it connected to your Steam account if you do it through Steam. So it's really up to you. I don't remember. I think there was a point when you could migrate your account to Steam because they were trying to get it all on one like platform. What is this? Oh, I can't. Oh no. I can't even put this thing away in my vault. I just want to... So these things, there's blueprints. There's a forge system they implemented where you can make high tier stuff, but you have to like sacrifice other UTs for it. So if you get a stack of 50 of these, you can unlock a blueprint. So I was going to put it in my other stack, but they made seasonal characters recently. So seasonal characters have a seasonal vault, which I didn't even go into my vault yet. That was the first time I've done it, and this is the first time I've been on a seasonal character. So I didn't know that it didn't even let me, like, I just thought it might not let me take stuff out of my vault. That's funny. But yeah, so I don't remember what I was explaining. I was explaining the standalone launcher. They made this launcher that I play through. I used to literally just play on the browser. You would go to realmofthemadgod.com and like you could just play it there. So the way I found it was playing in high school. Somebody was playing in high school and then like we all started playing in class. And then yeah, so they probably still don't play anymore, but I do every once in a while. I don't know what this guy wants. He probably wants to give me something. No thank you. So when people see your gear is bad, they don't always assume that you're doing a PPE like I am, which is where you only use stuff that you got on the character. So they see that you have bad gear and they're like, here you go, here's this thing that is good for you, like it'll help. And I'm like, no thanks. But yeah, it's only 84 megabyte. Yeah, it's not big. I don't know, the launcher may not be big. I don't know how much space it takes up when it's actually running, but yeah, the launcher isn't big. But yeah, I used to love to play on the browser. Playing on the browser was so funny. It's also nice because you play it anywhere. But I think it used to be on Congregate, so you could also play it through that, and you could play anywhere. But so they migrated from Congregate, the website. I don't know if you could play through Steam at that point or not, but they migrated from that and they pushed it all into their standalone launcher or the Steam launcher. So now those are the two ways you have to play it unless you have like a hacked client, which if you want to hack in this game, it's literally entirely pointless. There's no reason for it really, because it's all just based on whether you die or not. So if you take away the ability to die, it's like, well, what fun are you having? But so now the two ways that they have to play are through Steam and their own launcher. But yeah, so either one of those ways works. I don't know, I feel like there was another way that I'm forgetting that you used to be able to play. But yeah, it's a really simple game. Really simple concept. So right now, like I was talking about the realms earlier, I'm just in a realm. So if I go kill something, like one of these stars around that purple guy, like it drops a sprite world. So going in the sprite world is a dungeon, which gives you a stat potion, which I would want to increase my stats. So the whole point is basically go into dungeons, get stat potions or items to make your character better. That's like the whole thing. Very simple game, but it's fun to waste time in. At least when it's working, or you're not dying. Sometimes it's just horrible. You're like, oh god, I spent so much time on this one character, then I died, so it's just literally gone forever. Which, now that I say it like that, I mean, technically, if you delete a save file in any other game, it's the same thing. But that's a completely voluntary choice to do it that way. in this game you can involuntarily have your save deleted, technically. There's only a few exceptions, like the vault lets you store items that you don't want to lose, or you want to use later on other things. And there used to be an item that if you died, it was called Amulet of Resurrection, that would let you, like, you would die and the item would disappear, but your character would stay alive and you'd get teleported back to Nexus. But item duping happened, and so they got rid of the amulets so that you couldn't do that anymore. So you couldn't just infinitely dupe the item and have a character that lived forever. So those are the two exceptions to losing things. Your vault and that, and they got rid of the amulet. Except now there's also a progression system. So those endgame dungeons I was talking about with the exalts, those permanently increase the stats on the class you're playing. Once you complete a certain amount of them, they permanently increase your stats by a little bit. So that's a cool change that Deca added a while ago. So when you're sinking time into the game, you can at least make some sort of progress. I should probably be looking over here to see if there's any runs that they're doing that I can go to again. That's the main thing I feel like doing, is going to O3s. Because O3s will give me easy stuff, easy requirements to go to Discord runs, which means that I can get better items eventually. I don't actually feel like waiting for them to kill this. I want to go in that snake pit. I'm gonna do it as soon as it goes away and isn't... well, I'm not gonna be able to go in that, because if I go near it, there's a chance that a bomb could insta-kill me, and I don't want to do that. Alright, guess we'll kill it and see if I get a whiz pot. Also, there's pets in this game. So since I've been playing for so long, I've been able to get my pet high leveled up. So some people don't like the fact of doing PvEs with good pets. So it is a little bit easier for me to do stuff, because my pet heals me a decent amount. And gives me more mana so that I can use my ability more often. But I don't really care. I figure I invested the time. I have this pet. I'm not just gonna waste it. I'm too lazy to do all the work again to get a new pet. Because some people do what's called an NPE, new player experience, where they just restart all the progress they have on a pet and they'll make their own pet from scratch. And it's like, it takes so much time to actually get a pet that's even has good what's it called? Good, like, qualities. I don't even know what to call those. Good effects. That's probably a better word. Good effects. So one of the best ones is what I have is heal, M-heal, and electric. So electric does good close-up damage. Yes, abilities. That would be good. That'd be another good thing for it. So electric paralyzes things and does damage to them when your pet touches them. So it's a really good thing when you're playing by yourself if you can get your pet onto things, because it does a lot of damage. Like, see, this green snake, I didn't even shoot it. My pet just killed it. So it is very good for assisting you to do things. And there's other abilities, but you have to, like, really try to make use of the other abilities, I feel like. I'm gonna check this way for a tea room real fast. Should I join this O3 run? We're gonna join it. I think I'm allowed to deafen.
Backup rooms, backups.
He's loud. What the? No thanks. Yeah, so we're just gonna join it, go to it, and you're supposed to meet requirements, so there's a chance that they're gonna be mad that I go, they're gonna be like, wow, your character sucks, you can't come here. And then I'll be like, alright, I'll come next time. But basically, I'm too lazy to do anything besides 03. I want to go the cheap way, get a high tier item from 03, be able to meet requirements and other things without having to, they call it crashing runs if you're under requirements or you go without like actually being in the group. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to deafen. Looks like they're starting the thing. Is there a actual mod in the run? Ah, okay. And also technically, since I'm streaming, I could be leaking the loc, which is another thing you're not allowed to do. Okay. Now I can close this. We're gonna ignore this guy. That's a bot messaging me to try to ask me to buy things. So yeah, my weapon, I don't know. What are the requirements? I think this guy technically doesn't meet Rex because his weapon is 1 tier too low, which in the terms of doing damage does not matter at all. I forget what the requirements are. It's been so long since I did runs here. Wait, oh no, that's a different thing. Yeah, okay. So technically that guy is 1 tier under Rex for his weapon. That kind of stuff happens all the time, and it's like, that doesn't really matter for DPS, but me, with my stuff, really does. I'm 1 tier underneath for this. 1 tier underneath for my ability, but I'm 2 tiers underneath for this, which also does not matter that much. But what really matters is my stats. My attack is super low, and my dexterity is super low. Other than that, I would be able to do the same damage as most other people. Anyway. But yeah. I've done enough 03s. They have a certain role in this server I think it's if you do 500. I think. If you do 500 03s, you can get a certain role in this where you don't have to be in like the voice chat listening to the RL. But since I'm under Rex, I'm at least going to stay in the voice chat, but I'm just going to be deafened. Because I'm sure that if I'm allowed to leave, I'm allowed to be in it and deafened. Although I don't know if they get automated messages about deafened people. Because if they do, then it would be better for me to leave. And then maybe they won't look at my gear and they'll let me stay. They usually parse runs to make sure you're meeting Rex. Since they can't kick you from this, when you do dungeons, when you do keys in the Bazaar, you can kick people from your run if they don't meet requirements. But 03 is the only thing you can't kick people from. So since I'm in the realm, there's literally nothing they can do to stop me from being here. Besides ban me from the server. Or not, yeah. Technically ban me from the server. They don't actually ban you completely from the server, but they ban you from being able to see the runs for like a certain amount of time. So if you're under Rex, they can ban you for like a day or a week, and then you can't go to any runs in this server unless you crash them by getting the location from someone else. But I don't have anyone else to get the location from online right now. So if they ban me, that means that I can't go to runs in this server for today. And we would like to continue going to runs. Because then we can get better stuff. I think if I got like a T12 dagger, then being 1 tier under for the poison, they'd probably let me stay. I don't know about the armor. The armor is also not equivalent to T12, which you're supposed to have. But the armor changes almost nothing. You get a little bit more DPS stats. That actually means like nothing. If I had like 3 more DPS, or if I had 3 more dexterity, it's not going to make that huge of a difference. Oh, I forgot that these drop 2 pots. This is a new enemy that just died. I forgot that they dropped those. You think you're doing a tutorial and you fat finger R and it took you out? Yes. So R is the normal Nexus button. Nexus buttons are important so that you don't die. That is your main weapon to avoid dying for now. So really, if you're playing right now, Ashes, my recommendation to you is to just run around in the realm killing things and experimenting. Being like, okay, so this is stuff I can do. Try to find stuff that gives you like more XP to try to level up. Your main first goal is to try to reach level 20 on classes. When you start out, it's not super easy to reach level 20 because it takes a lot of XP and your damage output sucks. It's not a very friendly game to beginners. Oh god, oh god. Oh god, why? I don't like that. That was terrible. That scared me. If I had more max stats, I would have been fine completely, but it's a fresh character. Does the realm you go in matter? No, you should try to go to a server that has more people though. If you press escape and then you press escape and click on server, where does it say you are? It might also say you're in the best server, which is just best for your connection. And I would recommend to almost never go to that. Thanks, Nightbot. Going to the best server. Ow. I cannot talk apparently. I'm going to teleport to the beach and sit still and drink some water. It says best. Yeah, so I think I went to US East 2 earlier, and there should be a realm that's close to full. So like the number that it says underneath of the realm portals, it says 85, like some number out of 85. So you want to try to find one that's like closer to full, so then you have more people to like be around. But it won't really matter too much for you starting out, because you'll need to level up slowly to avoid dying immediately. But if you want to actually continue playing the game at all, something to look out for is pet eggs. If you get a pet egg, you should take it back in Nexus and go into the pet yard and just hatch the egg in your pet yard, because pets are like the other permanent thing in the game. Any progress you make on a pet is saved. So if you die, but you make good progress on like a good pet, then you can use the pet again on another character to help you out. So that's a good thing to know. Good stats for now. If you find one that has heal as the first stat, that'd be good to keep. It'll be a while before you can get many that have a bunch of other stats, because the way it works is you start off with one stat, then you have to unlock the second one, and then you have to unlock the third one. I forget. I'm pretty sure that it always tells you what all the abilities are. I don't know if I said stats. I think I did say stats, but I meant abilities. But you want to start with heal, and then always just have a heal one, and then get a heal M heal one. I would say if you get heal M heal or M heal heal as your first two abilities, that's fine. Either one of those. But then before you try to work on a third ability, you'll want to try to get one that's heal M heal, because heal is generally more important. Hey, thanks to the follow, Squirrel. But yeah, so pets are really important to work on in the game if you want to continue playing it long term, because it just assists you like a ridiculous amount. The better your pet is, the more you can do stuff by yourself. Like, if you have a really good pet, then you're pretty much able to do whatever you want, go off on your own. I haven't ever used this. I want to know what the firing pattern is. Oh, that's actually, I like that. First time actually using the secondary dagger weapon. The range isn't great, but I'm pretty sure that you killed a bandit leader. Yes, those are the most common like starting out quest. Those, and I forget what the scorpions on the beach are actually called. I feel like they're called like scorpion queens or something. Oh, I guess the shot speed is just kind of slow in these, isn't it? Or maybe not. Not that much slower compared to the regular thing. Now that would be something that I need to figure out, is the DPS of the new kind of weapons versus the old ones, so that I know what to use in what situation, because right now I have no clue. Like, this is literally the first new weapon that I've used out of all the new weapons that exist. But yeah, you'll be killing a couple bandit leaders on your way. You'll kill a couple elf mages. That'll be a lot of your early game experience, is killing those guys, trying to get some XP before you can go kill other quests. Running to your quest is a good way to get XP, because generally they give you more XP than like whatever other random enemies you might find. I think there's goblin mages too. I always forget what their name is, but the goblin mages give okay XP too. I was gonna run and get water, but I don't think I have time. I might have time. I'll wait until after the O3. So also, to explain what we're doing, all of us people sitting out here, we're leeching. We're just we're letting the people inside kill the enemies, because the enemies HP scale based on how many people are in there. So generally what happens is the higher DPS range people will go in to the portal, and then the raid leader will call out to everyone that you can go in the portal when they're in the third room, and there's only 3 rooms to each mini boss. So by calling in the third room, that means that the first 2 rooms weren't HP scaled, so the enemies die faster. Then we can all, you know, get to the bosses faster. So it's generally people sit here waiting, unless you're in like a high DPS run where everyone brings like really good sets, and then they can then you can just bulldoze all of the enemies. I don't know what they're talking about. There's always weird stuff going on in chat since the raid leader can talk. This is like the biggest Discord server for O3s. Generally people call like the big servers pub servers, just meaning that like the general population goes to it. And then there's private servers, which generally have like those higher DPS runs because they're faster, so people want to have less people in the runs, but they'll invite people they like or know are good at the game to their private servers, and they do that kind of stuff. I never really cared about that often, only if I'm trying to... You killed a flying thing and a coin purse thing dropped. How do you pick it up? You go over top, and then anything that's in the bag should be in your bottom right. The bottom right of your screen. And then you pick it up. If you can use it, you can put it on. And generally you'll know if you can use it. If you can't use it, it'll have like a red background behind it. I don't remember what class you start out as. You probably start as a wizard, right? Ow. Dying a little bit. You still have a despawn. Yeah, they despawn after a little bit. The higher tier items, or like the higher quality items, because the UT items stay there for the longest. I think if you get a white bag, it stays there for like 2 minutes. But I think regular bags stay there for about, they stay there for 30 seconds. So you don't have too long for this. Oh, we're getting a counter. Nice. So this will be a possibly higher quality run, because usually when that counter happens, people don't know how to do it. So we only have 42 people in here now, I think we had like 70 some. But now since we only have 42 people, the boss will have much less damage. Oh god, we're having another counter? No, okay, I was gonna say. The second and fourth phase counters in this boss are just really a waste of time. They don't actually like parse anyone out. They're not like difficult to survive or anything. But okay, yeah, you gotta be quick with those bags though. Yeah, you'll be finding like low tier items for a little bit, so you'll just try to work your way up. So basically what I do PPEs, and you only use items that you get on that character, like while you're playing that character. Any bags that you see on the ground that you got yourself, you will pick those items up and use them. But the reason people do that is it's essentially like you're playing on a new like account. Aside from your pet, it's like you're playing on a new account, and it's just like the experience of your first time. It's closer to it, but you know, the better you get, the faster you can get better items typically. So it makes it more fun and challenging. I've played like this for a while now. I only make like other characters. I make them as throwaway characters to go try and like learn new things in the game, like more difficult things. Is generally why I'll have the throwaway characters, or to learn things that I haven't done before. It's generally a lot safer to learn things you haven't done before, not on a PPE. Because if you do it on a PPE, then you lose all the progress you ever made on it. And that sucks. Nobody likes to lose progress. I don't know, they might have also changed the tutorial a little bit. I thought I remembered them possibly working on that, but the tutorial is notoriously bad. Yeah, so this is not like a vet run, because there's very bad coordination. Okay, we made it to Celestial, so we're about halfway through. Now this might parse more people, which means the rest of the run might be shorter. Ow. I'm dodging like a potato. There we go, that's better. And now we go over to the bottom left corner to be lazy. He only does, I don't know how many rotations he does around. You're gonna keep playing, but your head is pounding on now. Unfortunate. Have you had a headache for a while? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. That could have been bad. So the way that it works after Celestial is he'll teleport after every single phase. So that time somehow he teleported towards me. He teleports to the closest person to him, but apparently the closest person to him was next to him, but not on top of him, because you can TP lock him, which makes him not go anywhere. So you'll see people generally standing on him, and that's what they're doing. But when you don't TP lock him, and if you stand close to him, close enough like you were going to TP lock him, he'll like teleport and get thrown in the direction that you are. So he might go over you and go on top of somebody else. It's almost won there. Wait, what? I don't know why I thought you were in the US, Ashes. Oh wait, I guess that makes sense, never mind. My brain just shut off. It is also almost one where I am. Yeah, almost 3 hours with a headache, that's fun. I hate that. My brain shut off for a minute. So I'm staying away from him because dangerous phases, and I don't have that much defense. I do have a lot of health, so I'm kind of safe. If I had more speed, I'd be closer to him more of the time. Because more speed equals easier to get away, which means I can get more damage without having to worry about, you know, running away. And also, there's certain phase chains. So this goes into Blender, possibly, I think, which is this Sicken Bomb thing, which is good, usually, because it has a pattern that you can go. So to the right of him, like there's safe spots. So there's safe spots to the right, to the left, down, and then up, and then right again. So you can just get tons of damage in on that phase, if you can get in cleanly. But during Heavens, which is like the final phase of the fight, during Heavens it's hard to get in for some of the phases. And now he's dead. We won. So hopefully I get stuff. And then I'm gonna go run to the bathroom and get water. How long have I been streaming? Almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, which means I'll stream for at least another 45. Thanks, squirrel. And pots. That is about average. So those 2 pots that I got, minimum drops. But yeah, let's see. I was gonna keep this as a luck item, that's right. I'm gonna go in here. You didn't want to bother me during an overthrow, it's fine. This is the first time I've streamed Realm, but I've played for a while. So if you want to bother me, you can. I'll do my best to read. And since I just made this character today, I am okay with dying, even though it'll take back a lot of progress. Not a lot of progress. It'll take back some progress, I should say. Yeah, this is my first stream. I played it, like, a lot. I don't know. I think... So there's a website people use a lot called Realmi. I think that it tells you how long you played. Maybe? I feel like there's somewhere on here that you can look. Graveyard. Summary. I think this tells you somewhere. Let me check. Going at 39, what does that mean? Oh, okay, that's something else. Not important to what I was doing. Let me check again what I was looking for. I'm pretty sure somewhere in here tells you how long you've played. Aha, here it is. Active for... So I have been active for 117 days, 17 hours in this game. So I've played it a lot. I don't even know. What is 117 hours in hour, or 117 days in hour form? I'm too lazy to do that math in my head, so we're just going to check a calculator. That's 2,800 hours that I have spent playing this game. But okay, sir. Yes, okay. There's another 3 going up soonish, so I'm going to run to the bathroom and get water, and I'll be back. Wait, I'll read that first. Those are rookie numbers true. Alright, we're back. And it looks like the O3 that was in the process of being planned has not been started yet, so we can do that. They didn't tell me to leave last time, so I'm gonna go again. And that's generally how crashing Lokes works. I should probably hit the claim off, shouldn't I? I only had one thing to claim. Let me double check. So the main thing is they need the runes. There's one react of each rune, each of the 3. You need all 3 to be able to do the run. But while we're waiting, we'll go try to find some potions. Try to get some stats going again. But yeah, I think almost 3,000 hours in this game might make it like close to my most played game. I think Destiny. Oh hey, I don't have to go anywhere. They're in the same loc. All right, so what happens when this happens is I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to join the run. And when they get a /who, which you can do like this, if you do a /who, the names of the people go in order of when they joined the realm or came out of a dungeon. So my name will be before that guy's, since he came in here. And if he sees that, that means that he cannot kick me out. Or at least that's usually how they do it for the realm, for like the O3 stuff. Because if you were there before, it's unfair to like try to kick you out by threatening to ban you in a server when you were already here. You may have missed my reply. Did I say how to turn off particles? Oh, I missed that. Oh, yeah, let's see. So some particles, they made a change where you can actually turn all of them off. Let me see if they changed it or fixed it so you can. So I pressed escape, options, and then I went to video. So there should be literally a particle. Particles master. I just set this to off. I set particle effect to low. I turned off shadows, all shadows. I also decided to turn off, you can like play around with these to decide what you like the most. I turned off player hit particles because I don't care seeing when other people get hit. I used to have their damage numbers though, to like at least see when other people were getting damaged because that's kind of funny. I forget what the enemy particles look like. I don't really need it because I have my damage numbers, so I know when I'm hitting them. Draw text bubbles is good to have off. At least I like having it off because then you can't get spammed. Yeah, a lot of it's off generally. Ally notifications, I don't remember what this is. Toggle text notifications above allies. I have no clue what that means. I don't know what that setting is. Enemy damage text. So this is for other players. Like, so if somebody else damages something, it won't show you that. Yeah, so ally damage text, I do have that on, so I can see when other people take damage, which is just like funny to have sometimes. Curse indication. This makes enemies glow red when they have curse, and meh. Don't care about that. There's a icon above them when they're cursed too. Ally shoot. Turning off shooting is probably good too. Ashes, if you haven't done that. You don't have to see all the other people's shots, and it probably would lag more if you did. I haven't had it on in I don't know how long. I used to like to have it on, but I've had it off for so long I just got used to it. Your ally shooting, like you seeing other people shoot, I assume. I assume that's not off by default. Get off this game. I don't wanna. Or are you telling Ashes to get off the game? That could be a good idea. Don't start. It'll ruin your life. Just ask Stella. How are you doing, Stella? I was gonna say, still haven't seen you in a while. I guess it's because you're not on a degen sleep schedule. No one should play Realm. True. That is a very fair assessment. You're already too curious. I feel like it's It's fun to watch people when you don't have to start from the beginning. Like, starting from the beginning is terrible. Just the grind to get like a pet, and then not having a lot of storage space kind of stinks. Have you been paying attention a lot, Stella? I don't know how the seasonal characters work. I don't know if you've been playing enough to know either. Like, I know they're only able to trade with other seasonal things. You have your seasonal vault. That's about the extent of what I know about them. What am I... Why is nobody else here? Are they all just leeching? Is there another event I should be killing? Is there a cube god? I want a cube god. Did a few hard mode shatters, then you stop playing? Ah, okay. I think we talked about it before, but I didn't know what time frame that was when you actually stopped playing. Yeah. Doing hard mode, fair enough. Most entertaining thing in the game. But having to try to get RNG to get to hard mode sucks. I'm just doing a PvE because I'm lazy and didn't feel like trying to go into Discord runs while I was streaming. Let's just walk on top of that. That would be not cool. So Stella, are you gonna hide your name still forever? You're not gonna ever let anyone know your Realm of the Mad God name? Oh, you know what I should do? I wonder if it's public. I wonder if I can go see how long Wounds has been playing Realm. For how many hours. I don't know how reliable it is to check on Realmai, but I want to know. Did you already make it, or did it make it that by default? I don't know why I feel like I'm saying default weird. I don't know if I can get damage. Yeah, I can. Let's go. You made it? Okay. Yeah, you can change it once for free. You cannot change it after that, though. You're gonna go, have fun playing worst game ever, thanks. I will do my best, Stella. Have fun going to do whatever you are doing. I feel like you're probably not going to sleep right now, because you're never on for P-Man stream, so that means that you have to, like, go to sleep before then. But also, that's in, like, a lot of hours from now. 7 or 8. Ah, no, kill this thing. I need to kill this thing. Dang it, I didn't get it. Now I need to go here. Wow. That would have been bad. Good luck, Stella. I guess that works. You can just wish Stella good luck. No matter what she's doing, that'll work. I don't remember who I rated the other day. They weren't doing a first playthrough or a speed run, so I was like, well, what do I say to them? Because I can't say good luck. You wanted to make it just your Twitch name, but it was too long, and Ash's death would have been taken or something. Yeah, you can search. I don't know. I feel like it probably would have been, but you could have searched or asked me to search for you. So what is the end part of it? Ash LSZ. Ashes LZ, or because it's not Ashes. Your name? Oh, okay. ISZ. Oh, what, like your initials? Is the realm closed? Yeah, it looks like it. Usually whenever this quest is your quest, once you hit level 20, the realm is closed, if you see that. Wait. Ash is... Really? Is the location from Bloodborne? Okay, nice. That's funny. Yeah, I would not have known that unless I played Bloodborne eventually. But now I know ahead of time. So thanks for the spoilers, Ashes. Jeez. Now what do I do? Okay, I clicked over there, don't have pings. Smudge. Oh, I could add Smudge. I feel like I won't use that one that often because I'm usually never Smudge. I don't know. I'm usually Madge or Sag. It's taking too long to load. There we go. There's another Smudge. Wait. Ashes, have you seen Smudge cons? It's just Smudge smashing like Joy-Cons. That's funny. There's another, like I said, there's another Smudge though. It's kind of gross looking. It has a white background. Disgusting. But then there's a Smudge with Mewtwo, but it's not crying. No. What do you mean no? You hadn't seen Smudge with the cons. Smudge cons. Wait, did you not suggest adding Smudge? I figured since you said that P-Man had it, that you had suggested it. But if you had suggested it, doesn't that mean you searched it? Or did you find it by searching for another Scuffed Peepo? You did? Okay. I assume you meant you did by you suggested it. I don't know about the other thing, the other question. It's so funny that you can find so many. Oh, you were stuffing for Madge. I think... Wait, does he not have Madge? I'm pretty sure he doesn't have that one for some reason. Like, I've sent Madge in his chat and then he like doesn't have it. I think he might have it now because I might have did it like one too many times when Lava was there and Lava was like, fine, I'll add it. You don't think so? I can't remember. And I know Laws has it, I think. It's funny that Laws has so many Scuffed Peepos since Murph hates them so much. But not Mad if it exists. Yeah, I don't know what Mad would be. But they all, a lot of them just end with, you know, the JJ, because they're mocking the sound of, like, the DGE. Oh yeah, I know he has normal Madge, but I was saying Madge with two J's. You didn't hear the difference, Ashes? Come on. Mewtwo one, yeah, it is terrible. How can it be Smudge if it's not bad? Yeah. Come on, like, there's definitely a difference. I definitely pronunciated. I definitely enunciated the right way. Pronounced. I was gonna say pronounced and enunciated, but neither one came out, and it was a mixed version. What time is it now? Okay, 1:04. I was planning, you know, since I started around 30 minutes late, I was gonna end 30 minutes late. This game is at least nice because I can end exactly at whatever time as Nexus and it's done. Although, that's usually never how it works out when you're playing this game. You're like, alright, I'll play for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes. And then you're like, wow, it's been like 4 hours. What the hell? Alright. Oryx will definitely give us free stuff, surely. We can only hope. I'm timing these poisons so wrong because I hate waiting for the invulnerability phases. I'm too lazy to wait. I just want to spam. Expect the unexpected. I don't know what that means. That seems scary. We will take pots. Pots is some sort of progress. Mudkip. I love that person's name. Alright, let's see. Pot. Yes. Everyone who plays Realm loves Pot. Realmi. And now I will search Ashes and see if that is a name. It is a name of an account that is 11 years old and has pretty much never been played on. They were last online 9 years ago. So if you cared about getting the name Ashes, you could request it to Deca. Send them a request for doing what's it called? For getting a name change. Yeah, I don't know what the process is like. Usually for accounts that are that inactive, it's not that bad. Request. So if you go to Deca Games, I don't know how, I never like do it. So Deca Games, I could type it in chat too. I'll type the name of the company. So that's the name of the company that owns the game right now. Oh, I should probably go in here. So if you go to their support page, I think it's pretty easy to get to actually. Just looking at it real fast. I do not have time to continue looking at it though, because I need to run. I think I'm good now though. But yeah, let me Control Shift T that and see how easy it is. Yeah, so it should be pretty easy. Yeah, from there, you just need their website, and then you find a support ticket, and then I think their support, they only own a couple games, so when you go to it, it'll ask what game you want support for, and, you know, click Realm of the Mad God, and then there's certain, like, drop-downs for what your request is for, or what your support ticket's for. It's pretty simple. I've only really ever used it. I've reported people for, like, saying slurs. It's like, why are you doing that? In a game where you can literally only talk in the text chat, you're gonna waste it by saying slurs. Come on. I need to actually pay some attention, I guess. Say you're sickened during this, so you cannot actually heal. And a method that I like to employ when you're doing this is to tank a knife, which is a little bit more risky when you can't heal. And each knife does 200 damage, and you have not that much health. You can do it 5 times, technically, I think, if I have all of the HP boosts. At least on this class. Other classes could probably do it 6 times. Very, very closely. If they add HP buffs from one of the support classes, Paladin, they give you more like damage and healing with their normal seals. So they're pretty decent characters to have along in every single dungeon. Usually RLs, they'll wait for certain things for runs just to like make the runs faster, and a lot of the times getting a paladin and a warrior is something they like to always wait for because it speeds up the DPS by a lot just having one of each of them if you can get them. Now, should probably, oh god, that was a terrible time to eat some damage. I ate a ton of damage right before a second knife. Well, how are we doing so much damage? It's actually kind of shocking. It's back-to-back runs where they did enough for a counter, which is usually pretty hard in Dama, unless like the DPS changed since the new weapons. I don't know if the new weapons do enough more damage that matters. Or if they rebalance the weapons afterwards. Ticket submitted? Nice. I don't know how long it takes them to respond for that kind of stuff. Pretty much in like a day or two, they would answer about when I would report people for like slurs if I cared enough to do it at the time. Usually, you don't, I would never have to do it because there's somebody who will do it in the realm most of the time. Ow, I should probably dodge. But, you know, just in case nobody else was going to do it. Those couple of times I was like, alright, I got it. Hey, we got a blue bag, which just means we got pots, which means we didn't get much, but we still need these pots. And we got one of each, which is awesome. maximum potions from that mini boss, we'll take it. So now I could max life. If we get lucky and get 2 life pots from 03. He's still not taking armor break damage, which means that we didn't get this tower because people are dumb. Didn't get, wow, just literally got 1 tower down and people go in for damage. Stupid. I don't know why I didn't notice the nodders. I did not see that when I first read that message. But yeah, I would say the chances of you getting that account or getting that name would probably be pretty high because it's a 1-star account, which means they didn't meet any class quest requirements, which I don't know if they met them before. Like if they lowered the class requirements now, so if they got them before, I don't know if it like retroactively would go back and give them class quests completed. But if it does, then that means they like literally almost never played the game. Because getting to level 20 gives you a class quest. How many people are in your group? 58. You can see down in the bottom right over here, where my cursor is. It'll list out of 85 how many people are in, or whatever the cap of the dungeon you're in is. The cap of normal dungeons is 50, and the cap of there's 5 court dungeons. The cap of those dungeons is 25, but most dungeons are 50. They used to be uncapped, which I never really played. And I never really was in Discord runs when they were uncapped, but people would have like literally hundreds of people doing dungeons, and the HP didn't like scale, so you would just slaughter stuff by getting tons of people in the same dungeon. It was kind of funny. But yeah, this is a big one. Since all the other dungeons can't have 85, this is the biggest possible group you can have. We need to get to Celestial. Come on. There we go. I'm just saying, I'm too lazy for this. It's broken. Yeah, that's why they changed it and fixed it. I don't remember when they changed that. That might have been... So the first company that owned it was Wild Shadow. Then the next company that owned it was Kabam, I believe. I think. I don't remember. I think, yeah. So Wild Shadow was the original company. Kabam was the second company who owned it. People hate Kabam. People love Wild Shadow. Or at least, like, nostalgically love Wild Shadow, I think. I don't know whether the love is serious or not, because I didn't care enough about the game back then to actually care about the developers. We don't want to be that way. Ouch. Why did they sell it? So they either sold it because they were like losing money on it, or they got a good offer. I don't really know. Like, a funny thing that Deca says sometimes is like they want to develop the game and have good features so then they can market it more widely. But I don't know how long they've had that stance, because they still haven't done that, I don't think. What were they called again? The first company was called Wild Shadow. The next one was called Kabam. And this one is called Deca Games. I don't know what other game they own. I think Deca owns a lot of mobile games other than this, and not a lot. Like, I think it's like 6 or 7 maybe, or less. Might be like 5. They don't own a lot of games. This is probably like their biggest one, and it was acquired. I'm just trying to stay away from all the chase phases. I don't feel like dealing with that. I'm trying to have a nice, relaxed time getting my 03 drops. I'll at least help some damage and killing the towers, because apparently people don't feel like killing the towers this run. It's a very important thing to do because you literally can't win without doing it. whoever the second person was bought the studio. I'm not sure. I don't know the actual history of like how the game passed between hands. It might be online somewhere, documented. I mean, it probably is, but I never cared to look or ask. Oh, you're looking into it? Yeah. Yeah, Wild Shadow, I think it was just like an old game to them. They were like, yeah, sure, we'll sell it to you. Why not? But then, Kabam, I feel like what happened with Kabam was they like were losing money and were like, okay, time to sell. And Deca was like, we'll buy it. So now what do? Am I still in the Discord? Oh no, I'm in Lounge in that Discord. There we go. I can leave and undeafen. You told me like you knew. But you did know more than me, because I couldn't confirm that. I was like, yeah, I don't know, sounds right. We want the 1 speed pot. We might try to do one more 03 before I end. Let's see. I should actually probably pay attention to the servers. This is what I always do. Usually after an 03, I'll go into a realm, forget what I was doing, and then miss possible other things I could be doing. Yeah, we'll wait and see what this one's doing. They have all the runes. I wonder if it's going to be a no-rec run. Probably not. But I could go, if it's going to be the last run, get banned for a day, then I'm not playing for the rest of today, and ban over. Easy. Just take the L. Take the L for the drops. We always got to do. Okay, we're gonna try to get some more speed potions real fast. We only need 8 more to max. If I can max like 2 or 3 stats in one day, that's always a success. If I don't play for that long. If I'm able to play for like a full day, I'm able to easily max 1 character. As long as I can get requirements to go to 03 runs without technically crashing. This could potentially be a tea room, so we'll go. It's probably not, since this is long. Yes, see? Once it gets to a certain length, you can tell that it won't be one. But there's still more potential down here. We'll go. Company took ownership of the game following their acquisition of Wild Shadow Studios. Oh, okay, so they just like bought the entire studio. That makes sense. There's a chance this goes right more, yes, and there's a chance, okay. There's almost 0 chance that that ends up being a tea room, but this could be. They're doing it. US Midwest 2, blob. For anyone who wants to go, there you go. I don't know if anyone's playing. Ashes, I wouldn't recommend you going, unless you wanted to die. There we go. I want to change my name, but I'd have to actually pay to change my name. What happened? Oh, I said like the location out loud, which is usually not something you should do. It's called, that's what they always call leaking the location. But I'm sure they won't notice. Yeah. But if you came here, you would probably end up dying. I mean, if you made it through the 03, I'd be seriously impressed. If you started playing today and made it through an 03. You could come and do like the Oryx 1 and 2 That is definitely possible if you wanted. But you have to be careful in the sanctuary. You have to even be careful in the castle. I usually just hang around close enough to get the XP from enemies dying when I'm not level 20. And that's an easy way to get to level 20. Wait, what? Why is this guy saying that? You do want to play more, you love the art style. Yeah, like it's a very simple game, like I said, but like it's very addictive, which is why people play it so much. And that's why Stella said to not play it. That's why Stella was like, nobody should play Realm of the Mad God, because it's awful and addictive and just like a massive waste of time, but here I am playing it while I'm saying all of that. BB Smooth, this is like the biggest streamer who does Realm. I also don't know how the seasonal characters work. Like, I don't know if you only get one. I don't know. I would like to know. Like, I would enjoy if the seasonal character, if it was alive at the end of the season, gave you an extra character slot. I don't know if that's how it works, but that would be cool. Because character slots are like a very valuable thing in this game. Because if you want to play all the classes, are there 18 classes now or 17? I forget. But there's 17 at least, so that means that you need 17 classes to have, or 17 slots to be able to have one of each if you wanted. And that's a lot of slots without paying for it, because it takes a while to be able to get new ones. IBM just sold it to Deca in 2016. Yeah, I didn't think that Deca owned it for super long. But that is almost half of the lifespan of the game, I think. Which means they are close to having it the longest out of any of the three. Yes, this is what we want. We're killing the gods to get pots. They made a remaster in Unreal Engine in 2020. Yeah, so when they did that, that was also when they made the standalone launcher and the Steam launcher that they have now. I really don't remember if you could have it on Steam before. I forget. I think you could. So they like remade the launcher, I guess, that launched through Steam. Or I don't even know how it works through Steam. I forget. I have a Steam account one, but I never play on it. I just have it as like an alt account in case I wanted to play on like a fresh account. I would log in for, yeah, I've had more useless knowledge, true. Yeah, but I have my alt account on Steam that if I wanted to play like on a new account, I have that there. But I would log in because there's daily login stuff where you just get free stuff for logging in, literally just opening the game and closing it. So I would do that for a while. So I have like a bunch of free stuff on that account if I wanted to play it. 7 rem. Should I go into some snake pits? Maybe. If I go into snake pits, I could potentially be max speed before Oryx. I don't know if I can get 7 speed that fast. That really depends on the tea room amounts. And I could potentially get lucky with one of the gods dropping me a couple speed too. Or not one of the gods, but a couple of the gods, you know. You launch the game and it launches the launcher. Yeah, that's what I thought. I could not remember though. It's been a while since I've done it. It just seems weird to launch a game from Steam and it launches a launcher. I don't know if other games do that. I don't need that. Hermit God's 1,000 tentacles will something. What are the tentacles doing? Huh? Yeah, seems odd. I kind of want to find out if any other games launch a launcher. Another Pentarac. I'll go here first. Bethesda is the only one. What game do they do that does that? Or do all Bethesda games do that? Like, I feel like if you're gonna make a launcher, you should just do what Epic Games did and just make your own launcher. Skyrim, Fallout 3. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I feel like if it's gonna launch a launcher, you should literally just have your own. I'm not gonna be able to hit this. Yeah. That's a shame. I need that. Yeah. But so like Deca did both. They launched their own launcher from Steam, which is nice, I guess, because it lets people integrate their Steam accounts with their Realm accounts, which people like. You know, having all their games in one place. I know you can add like custom shortcuts to Steam. I did it for the down-patched versions of Hollow Knight. I don't ever launch them directly from there because I just launch them from my desktop. I have a shortcut on there too. But I could launch them from Steam. Or just bake all of the settings into the actual settings menu. Yeah, that's probably too much for Deca to handle though. The more you play Realm, the more you'll see comments about how incompetent Deca is, which for the most part has been true. They have done a couple of good like remasterings of dungeons and whatever, and making new ones, but it also takes them a very long time to do it sometimes, and they also do weird stuff sometimes. 3 remaining. Let's go in here. You're aiming at Bethesda. Yeah, I mean, I guess whatever you say about Bethesda could potentially be true about Deca games too. Seems like it applies to both. I don't really play that many Bethesda games either, so I couldn't tell you. The main ones I played, I should say the main one I played is Skyrim. Okay, now we want to kill this as fast as possible. Get out of here and go kill more gods. Need to remaster Fallout 3. Yeah, I know that one's probably like considered the best Fallout, right? I got Fallout 4 and I did not like it, and I know I shouldn't base my experience of the series on that, but I also just don't care to buy the older ones. I'm too lazy. Wait, there's another cube god? You have to use workarounds to even get it to work on current PCs, and it only uses like 2 gigs of RAM. Wait, what the heck? Why do you have to do so much to try to get it to work? Is it just not... was it not on PC or something? Dang, we didn't get it. Hey, I got called out. So when you kill things in the realm, orcs like to call people out sometimes. It was made for games for Windows Live too, so that messed up. That or New Vegas can be considered the best. Yeah, I know that one's different. People like that one a lot, but New Vegas was a lot different, right? Or something. I know there was something strange about New Vegas. Okay, he saw. Thanks, Nightbot. Voice protag ruined Fallout 4. Was there not a voice protagonist before? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't really know anything about Fallout, like I said. So anything you say, I'll have to question it. Not because I don't believe what you're saying, just because I have no clue about anything about it. I'm learning. I don't know what game series that I haven't played that I would want to play the most. Ruins the immersion. What do you like reading the text? The text options in Fallout 4 didn't say. all of what you would actually say when the older ones did. That's weird. Wait, so you would you mean like you would choose a text thing and then the voice would say more than just what the text option said? Way different than what it was telling. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just watching a video yesterday on Facebook of I don't know, I forget what, why can't I think of what it's called? But I feel like it might be a common thing that people watch. Yeah, I don't know why I can't think of it. Most of their like little skits that they do are like they're working in a tech store, Playtech. I don't know if that's what they just call their channel, but then they also make things making fun of some video game stuff. So the video was somebody trying to choose the right text options to romance some NPC, and then he was choosing ones that he thought were good, and then like it would insult the nice NPC lady. And he was like, no, what? Stop, please. I'm trying. Yeah, see, this is something fun that you can do. When the realm is shaking, you can just run over all of the stuff and they can't hurt you. Yeah, I enjoyed that skit. I thought it was funny because I've been there. At least I understand the feeling. I feel like I haven't really ever played a game where choosing a dialogue option ruined it, because I chose the dialogue option, but then I think it was forgiving enough that there was a second one where you could like fix the interaction. So then I always fix the interactions in those situations, so I never had to experience the full pain. And also, the only game that I remember playing that ever had like a romance thing for NPCs was just Mass Effect. So that one's not a huge one. I feel like the Mass Effect romance options you can do by just trying to like get more story. Voice per tag just makes it way harder to insert yourself in the character's shoes. Ruins the immersion. Go from Fallout 3. Fair. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about. I think it's like one thing about Pokemon that people like, you know, the fact that you could be that person no matter what. And like other just games that are single player games that are similar. You miss the older Pokemon games. Why is that? I feel like you can't stand the 3D ones. Do you mean like how the new games are even? Or do you just mean like the 3DS trying to make like fake 3D-ishness? The new ones? Okay. I haven't played Sword and Shield and I haven't watched Scarlet and Violet or Arceus. Like X and Y. Yeah, like the kind of like three-dimensional movement. I didn't like moving around with the joystick. I don't know if that's similar to your complaint. I can't remember how X and Y were. It's been a while since I played them. I forget which one I have too. I think I have X. More potions. Just that look if they want to try 3D. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like any of the handheld ones were like, they're like kind of 3D, but not actually 3D. Then the Switch ones became much more 3D, because I have seen like bits and pieces of Arceus, and I don't think I ever actually saw Sword and Shield. Versus Pull in 3D, that doesn't really translate well into Pokemon. Yeah, you hate it. Yeah, maybe I'll form an opinion when I play them eventually. I have Sword and Shield, but I was playing Moon. I might restart my Moon playthrough. I don't remember what the water type was, but I chose the water type Pokemon, and I think I want to change my mind. And I haven't played it in so long that I think it's fair enough to restart and do a new playthrough. You have it, played it for 30 minutes and stopped. What, which one? Scarlet or Violet? When was the last one you played? Okay. I feel like... Oh, Sword and Shield. Okay. Yeah, I have one of them. I forget which one I bought, but I think I bought one of them, so it's downloaded on my Switch, but it's not actually... Like, I haven't played it. I haven't opened it. Also, if you've noticed the names beneath people with the new seasonal stuff, if you have a blue name, that means you're a seasonal character. I don't know if you're paying that much attention, Ashes, but just so you know the difference, since that stuff is new. I might max speed before I decide to end stream, since I only need 3 more. You bought a $20 HDMI USB cap card. Oh yeah, you told me about that. Well, you didn't tell me, you told P-Man, and I was there. So same thing, it counts. Have you tried it yet? Has it like worked? I feel like a $20 capture card does not seem good. You're running on a splitter? Oh, okay. What do you use the splitter, I guess, to play on a I forget what they're called. The normal TV thing that's used for CRT, is that what they're called? You watch videos, it seems fine. Okay. Like watch videos of other people using it. Go to the TV and capture card. Okay, that's what I figured you meant. But yeah, CRTs are the ones that show like N64 games the way that like they were designed to be, I think, right? Does say 1080p 30. Yeah, what about the frames you're gonna lose? You're gonna not be able to use 30 or 10 full frames of that 30 FPS. Also, I don't know how that works. I'm pretty sure things scale badly sometimes like that, because since your thing is capable of 30 FPS, if it's going to try to show 20, that means it has to like chop the frames up weird, I think, unless it's able to adjust. So I don't know if it'll actually be strange or not. You're using it for your PS4? Ah, okay. I was gonna say, I didn't know if you're using it for Ocarina of Time, but then I would assume, since I assume that PS4 runs at 60 FPS for most things, so I think splitting the frames in half is easier. Or even if it was like 20 FPS on a 60 FPS thing, splitting the frames into 3 is easier too. Like, because they just multiply by 3 how long each frame shows. I think. I don't know how. I've never messed with actually showing FPS stuff, so I don't know exactly how that formatting works. Video was not something I messed with. You use the GV USB too. Yeah, that's the one that Laws and P-Man use, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I missed the big message because I was trying to not die. Bloodborne is what you play a lot, and that's 30 FPS. Oh, okay, so it's exactly what you need. I'm not leeching because we damage capped because he's flashing blue, which means we could not do more damage. Somebody is PvPing? Or they stopped, I guess? No, they did not stop. Ow. I didn't mean to take that last hit of damage. It's always the worst. Even if it sucks, the chance of it working for $20. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like, I just feel like for $20, I could not believe in the potential. I feel like the potential of it working is too low for me to believe. I think it's funny. So we got Dama 3 times out of the 403s. I think I only did 403s today. So another thing about doing 03s when you're not... So to get exaltation credit, you need to be maxed in all of your stats. So doing these dungeons when you're not maxed in all the stats is technically a waste of time. But it's more fun. I'd rather do it multiple times and not get credit than do other stuff. I'm leeching here because I'm being lazy. There we go. Leech long enough to get some credit. It was for you too. You're researching it in the store, trying to decide. Ow, I'm sitting still. That's usually not a good thing. Alright, we're max life now. So now we will actually be 2-8. If I max speed before ending. And it seemed to do fine with Breath of the Wild. Huh. I don't know what the frame rate of Breath of the Wild is. This is what happens when there's a decent amount of people and low DPS people are trying to just kill the towers. That took forever. There were like 4 phases that went on. I think it was actually 3 phases that went on while we were trying to take that tower down, but it's alright. Fleeing is futile, no thank you. Bye-bye. It's a weird drag. Somebody was dragging it through the middle. It runs at 30. I was gonna say, I didn't think it would be like super high because the Switch performance just, you know, isn't great anyway. I would not expect much. When I tried to play Fortnite on it, it just could not. It was actually worse than my old laptop. My old laptop that I got for school, not even for gaming, like, could run Fortnite, I think, better than my Switch could, which is hilarious. I've heard that some things in Scarlet and Violet are pretty bad with, like, frame drops. Which is funny to me, because it's like, yeah, because Nintendo decided to spend time making a better graphics display that can't even have better graphics on it, because it can't make, like, it can't have enough processing power to even, like, do anything to make those graphics possible. Stupid. Also, in case you were curious, the phases that he does, you can always tell what the phase is by what he says in the bottom left. There's certain things that he says for each phase. And he also has like certain stances he does for each phase too. So I never really read the bottom left. I always just looked at him, and I learned later what the text cues were in case he's off screen. Because I just never look at the bottom left usually while I'm playing. You have a friend who's defending them and giving me shit because he said it was awful to release something like that. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, how much after the Switch was released did they release the OLED Switch? It's like, not enough after that. Like, if they released it like a couple months after the Switch came out, okay. But it was like multiple years, and they're like, yay, graphics. Ow. That was scary. I'm just not going to bother full rotating because I'm not fast enough. I am fast enough, kind of, but not fast enough that I care enough to do it. Feels like a rushed cash grab, yeah. I feel like it definitely was. Like Nintendo was like, people will definitely buy this. You can't even go in a lot of random buildings like old Pokemon. Oh, what, like, just that have nothing really to do with any sort of progression or anything. And then after it, I'm butchering Brilliant Diamond, or whatever the other one is called, Shining Pearl. I couldn't remember that one. I always forget Pearl's name. He told him you're not getting it because you can't support that. He got mad. That's funny. Oh, so we got the 2 random G-Life pots. But that doesn't really help. And that's the issue. Yeah, understandable. It's just, yeah, it makes no sense that they would release a Switch like that. Like, what is the point? Wait. Can only be expanded by item? What does that even mean? I don't even think... I don't care to keep these. I'll put them in there just because, but I don't really care because this character can't use them, so that means I'll never use them. So many games and companies do it now, yeah. Yeah, it is really dumb. I hate having to like try to figure out what games are just trying to get me to buy the game so that they get my money, and which ones actually made a game that they want people to play. Alright, this is my trusted method of finding snake pits when I want to max speed. Running along this thing and killing these like lower gods, because they all drop snake pits, and it's much faster than trying to go find a Medusa in Godlands and kill it and hope that it drops the thing. That's funny. Yeah, I feel like most sane people feel the same way that we do. Nobody's like, wow, Nintendo did a really great job with this OLED Switch. I'm so glad that they made almost no change whatsoever and just made the screen better. That the Switch can't even handle using. It's like, yeah, why don't you just hook the Switch up to a 4K TV since it's gonna run 720p? Like, sure, why not? Yeah, stupid. Like, I don't know who at Nintendo thought like it was a good idea, because somebody had to approve it. Like, I'm assuming that that means like what you said. They just approved. They were like, yeah, people will probably buy that. It's a lazy version of not making another console. Like, I'm fine with them just updating the Switch and like somehow trying to make it so that you can have all your stuff backwards compatible, but like, that's just not the way to do it. I also, I used to never screen rotate in this game. It's very helpful because you can off-center your camera like this, and it lets you see a little bit further. So like, I can see like halfway into that room. Now I can see like pretty much to the wall of it. But in certain dungeons, I don't care to screen rotate. The rooms are so small that it just doesn't, I feel like it doesn't help that much. So I'm like, yeah, screw it. In this one, since this dungeon, the treasure rooms are usually to the left and, or since they're always to the left and right, if you don't screen rotate, you don't ever have to think about the direction. You just go ooga booga, give me loot, and eventually you find the right path. Seems like every big company is like, oh, they'll buy it anyway. Let's get it as fast as possible. Yeah, I hate that. I don't know. Rockstar. Just money hungry more, or is just money hungry now too. Yeah, I don't know what company. I feel like there was one company that was releasing games that I still feel like are finished products, which is how you should be releasing games. Like, I think recently, I don't know what game it was, but I'm pretty sure I heard about some company released a game and then like there was something faulty in it, not even like a huge thing. And like they issued an apology and people were like, why are you apologizing? And then it's like, well, because you're supposed to release finished products, and you're not supposed to release something half finished and be like, oh yeah, we'll update that. Ever since GTA Online, they haven't done a single player DLC. Yeah, because they're like, hey, we can just easily get people to keep paying money for fake currency on GTA Online. So let's do that. Which people wanted bad, and no single player DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2, which they had already had Mexico and stuff in the game. Yeah, that does not surprise me. I think that Rockstar is probably one of the worst, because they literally do just milk as much as they can out of GTA Online. There were definitely people here. Where'd they all go? I can't get that close to the Cube God myself, because my DPS is bad, and my defense is bad. But I want to see Dirk. We're just gonna chuck poisons. There's definitely not other events, are there? Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, that's funny. I accidentally shot at the Phoenix's egg enough that it popped out. I hate this Phoenix thing is so erratic that I'm just barely missing my poisons. Yeah, this is what's scary about the Cube Gods when you have no defense. Wait, what happened? Oh, they make good titles, yeah, and finish stuff too. It's that Red Dead 2 Online was so bad and boring because they tried to make it into GTA Online 2. Yeah, I never played Red Dead that much either, so I have no opinions on it whatsoever, really. But I did play GTA, and I really had no interest in the online. I played it after people like would know. I played it like way past the peak, I think. What was I gonna do? I wanted to max speed. Let's actually do that. I need 2 more. So now we'll go searching for one more thing. Pretty sure there was a knight. Yeah, like if I don't know if this guy just doesn't have a TP. Like if his TP cooldown is too high. Red Dead 2 is easily your second fave game of all time. Story was so good and immersive and long. What was your first favorite? Took you a week of playing, like 8 hours a day at least to beat it. Nice. Wait, so how long did you say? A week, okay. I feel like that's definitely a decent amount of time for a game. If you were playing for that long, too. It's so weird, this guy. Why is he going for the avatar? Bloodborne, oh, okay. Yeah, I probably should have like realized, but you know, sometimes my brain is off, like I said. And apparently it was off again. We just want 2 more speed pots. So you just consider Souls games as spot now. You can rank all of the Souls games in the same spot. Fair. So what, like they're all equally good, except Bloodborne's just the best one out of them. I think that's also a nice way to, you know, let other things be high up on your list. Yeah. It's funny. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Bloodborne. Ooh, just let me have 1 more snake pit, please. 1 more snake pit with a tea room and we're good. Wait, did I say tea room? I don't even know what I said. I feel like I said tea pit and I meant tea room if I said that. I don't know why I almost stopped for that centaur. Sometimes my brain also is like, ooh, I can kill that. So I stopped to kill it and I'm like, wait, why am I killing it? Red Dead 2 was a good prequel too. In the first you were hunting down your old gang leader, and in the first you go back and play as a member in that gang. in the first one. So wait, you in the first one you play as a member in the gang? In the second you go back. Okay, that makes sense. I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't sure. I was like, what is it, like a side quest that you play as a gang member in that would be like in the same time as Red Dead 2? But now I understand. What time is it? Almost 2. I've been still going a half hour extra, but that's fine. We'll just try my best to go find a snake pit. Give me, please. I just need 2 speed. Just 2, please. There we go. You can see the gang later slowly go crazy and the events that caused the first game. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think I knew when that game was new, people that I knew that played the game, like they were talking about people, and just from like the names, I knew they were in the first one, but I didn't know if it was, I still didn't know if it was like a prequel or what. I had no clue at all about that. There we go. You've been wanting to replay it. You may do that on stream. I feel like replaying things on stream is great because then you already know what to do, so you can actually focus on chat more if you have people talking to you. Even with speedrunning, it's like the same concept, but then you have to focus a little bit more on the run if you're trying to do well. Alright, there we go. We've done it. Alright, we've maxed 2 stats. That seems good for today. And let's see. We'll go back to Nexus so it updates my fame on Realm. Because I think I'm like at about 370k. Yeah, looks like 370. Close that. Open this up. I don't need to have Discord full screen anymore. So I can full screen Chrome. And let's find someone to raid. Get to see other gang members you killed in the first game too. That's funny. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Thank you for the 500 bits. Did I actually do the collector thing? Oh no, that's right. I did have the collector. So, thank you for the bits again, Squirrel. If you aren't aware of what that's from Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight sound effects. They're so great. I actually forgot that noise. I thought that I had switched the raid noise. Because I think you were there, Ashes, when Bull was like, you should switch that and make that one the raid noise. I thought I'd switched it. I was like, oh no, did somebody raid me at like the very end of stream? It's always so awkward. Like, yeah, thanks for the raid. See ya. I'm gonna leave. Let's see. There aren't that many people on Realm, so we'll just find someone to raid. I'll decide on who I feel like raiding the most. There's one like decent sized streamer who always plays Realm. I don't want to raid them. Not that I don't like them. Yeah, so I had it, and I think what Bull wanted me to do was make Sly like the shop guy. He wanted me to make him the noise for bits, and then the collector the noise for raids. I was like, I feel like I might do that. That seems good. Yes. We'll raid this person. I'm gonna go in, try to make sure I don't get ads, and then yeah. Thanks, Nightbot. Raid. I know nothing about Rose Claws, so let's see. What are they doing? Let's see if I can figure it out. Looks like they're doing a seasonal character. Yes. So, and I don't know if they haven't been playing long or if they're on a new account, but let's go wish them some good luck on their seasonal character. So I'll be streaming in tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll actually try to not be like a half hour late like I was today. I might play this again tomorrow if I'm not feeling up to like speedrunning, or maybe Isaac, because I'm just tired. For Thanksgiving I was busy. Do it. You want to see this again tomorrow? Or Isaac? Yeah. I do want to play Isaac a lot, but it's been so long since I played it. I feel like I'm just gonna get really annoyed at it, and I don't feel like doing that. And also, the way I play Isaac, I'm too lazy to do runs unless I start and reset until I get like a decent item to start with. So I don't want to do a high reset Isaac. I feel like that's probably painful to watch, but also maybe not. That's how you need to do it. Yeah, it really is just like much more better. It is much more friendly that way, because sometimes it's just pain. But all right, the raid's gonna count you guys out. I think we have 5 seconds. Yeah. So see you guys later. Let's wish Rose some good luck.
In your back.
Fuck, another fucking muddy tie chaser.